If we miss that window, let alone gathering fire, even getting close will be nearly impossible. Zhu Minglang scratched his cheek and sighed. It seems without absolute proof, we cannot cancel the fire collection ceremony this time. Zhu Huo nodded. Exactly. Plus we cannot send more men there. We must report this to the third sect master as soon as possible, so he can decide. Zhu Minglang turned to leave, instructing, do not tell my uncle yet. Keep investigating the manager while I watch An Qingfeng and Zhao Yu. If they are only putting on a show, missing the fire ceremony would be a massive loss. Zhu Huo immediately clasped his hands. The young master truly thinks of everything. The next morning, we find Zhu Minglang and Zhu Rong sitting quietly in his courtyard, drinking tea. Zhu Minglang looked over at her and asked, Rong, was that your very first time visiting the ley line? Zhu Rong nodded. Yes, father never let me go before, fearing I would break the rules and anger the fire god. He took a sip of his tea and whispered, I have something crucial to share, but you must promise not to tell anyone, especially your father. She frowned in curiosity. What is it about? Zhu Minglang's expression turned serious as he spoke, emphasizing every single word. The survival of the Zhu sect. Zhu Rong gasped. In that case, I cannot refuse, brother, tell me quickly. He frowned. It all starts from the day I was assassinated, he explained, as the sun slowly began to set. Hearing the whole truth, she stammered, Oh my, then what can I possibly do to help? Zhu Minglang looked her in the eyes. I need you to steal the secret realm's coordinates from your father. Confused, she replied. But with your status, if you asked him directly, he would surely tell you. Zhu Minglang shook his head. No, this investigation must be kept completely in the shadows. Zhu Rong stroked her chin, her mind racing with thoughts about the sect's fate while sipping her tea. She looked up, speaking seriously, Then I will do my absolute best. Zhu Minglang patted her shoulder. Good, I am counting on you, Rong. Later that night, at the Wupeng Lighthouse Stonehouse, Zhu Huo's voice echoed, Young master, Wang Xiao always manages the outer court trade, but recently, a massive sum of money vanished without any trace. He frowned, explaining that Chief Xia Haiyan quickly hushed the scandal up. Zhu Minglang muttered in confusion. Chief Xia Haiyan. Zhu Rong raised a finger to clarify. Yes, the female chief who went with us to the Great Leyline Rift secret realm. Zhu Minglang asked with narrowed eyes. Do you mean Chief Xia Haiyan and Wang Xiao share a pretty deep connection? Zhu Huo calmly nodded. Indeed. And 3 or 4 years ago, when the manager's son committed a heavy crime, nearly getting beheaded on the spot by Qin City's enforcers, Chief Xia Haiyan was the one who protected him. Zhu Rong covered her mouth in shock. Xia Yi is completely devoted to our Zhu sect. She does not seem easily bribed. Zhu Minglang immediately pressed further. What about the other chiefs? Did you dig up anything on them? Truk Hoke raises his hand and says, Master Veen is my mentor, so if you trust me, you can trust him too. Hearing this, Zhu Minglang rubs his chin. Right. Keep investigating those past events, especially anything related to external forces. Zhu Minglang looks straight at the crowd, calling out his orders. And get this, he actually plans to steal the sacred fire liquid before the ceremony even begins. He asks everyone to do their best to help. Truk Ho gasps in shock, steal the vain fire liquid? Truk Dung cannot believe her ears. Why would anyone steal from their own family? Zhu Minglang just smiles, saying he is in the light while the enemy hides in the dark, making this necessary. She stares at him, whispering quietly, why does it feel like she just boarded a pirate ship? Grinning widely, Zhu Minglang stands up and tells everyone to get moving and start making their preparations. He needs to harvest some windstar dandelions for what is coming. Under the bright moonlight, the glowing seeds drift high into the night sky. Watching them float, Zhu Minglang figures that gathering more windstar dandelions will make a devastating combination when mixed with that earth vein fire liquid later. Suddenly, Lu Mu appears nearby, teasingly calling him out for taming dragons so leisurely while in such high spirits. She says she almost believed he had nothing to do with Trodon Kak's sudden disappearance. Smiling softly, she asks, what is wrong? Do you not recognize me? Lu Mu giggles behind her hand, calling him incredibly cold for burning her servant to absolute ash. Yet, she claims she finds that ruthlessness rather charming. Here at the Windstar Dandelion Highlands, Zhu Minglang watches Lu Mu approach. Frowning deeply, he points a finger directly at her and asks, are you some kind of ghost? Lu Mu smirks, asking how she could possibly be a ghost. Cupping her face, she pouts that young Master Truck clearly does not know how to treat a lady. That wood puppet was her absolute favorite toy, and his flames totally ruined it, leaving her completely heartbroken. Staring her down, he asks if this body is finally her real one. She just flashes a playful smile and tells him to guess. Zhu Minglang casually picks his nose, muttering that she somehow looks even uglier now. He asks why he should show tenderness to a plain rock. She is just a common stone in the weeds. He is already being pretty nice by not crushing her outright. Hearing that, her expression instantly darkens with rage. She scowls, sneering that she came to take back Trodon Kak. but now she wants to skin him alive to create a living puppet. Zhu Minglang glances around the area, asking if she is all alone. He wonders aloud why Thonfong is still hiding. Lu Mu stomps hard, cracking the dirt as she charges straight ahead. Weary of his games, she snarls that in her eyes. He is just a rabid dog. She thrusts a powerful palm strike directly at Zhu Minglang, screaming at him to go die. He leaps backward, narrowly dodging the blast. He sighs with relief, glad he wore his shadow robe, while Lu Mu screams that there is no escape. Grinning, Zhu Minglang turns his thumb down and mockingly tells her, "The feng shui here is great, perfect for your burial." Lu Mu scowls, completely enraged by his sheer shamelessness. And just like that, look at her face. Lu Mu freezes in absolute shock as a massive green laser crashes down from above. The massive strike slams directly into the field of dandelions. Severely injured, Lu Mu collapses to the ground, cursing him through her teeth. "You coward," she screams in rage, asking where his martial honor is. Zhu Minglang looks down at her, utterly amused by her complaint. "Honor? With you?" Smiling brightly, he calmly orders his dragon, Thontrack, to finish her off. Thontrack immediately charges up a blast of energy. Desperate, Lu Mu raises her hands, channeling a blue shield while screaming in frustration. Sharp ice crystals shoot from her palms to intercept the attack. The clash triggers a massive explosion, blasting Lu Mu backward as she crashes heavily into the field of dandelions. Struggling to sit up while clutching her mangled arm, she screeches for her heavy servant, Trong No, to attack together. He immediately charges. Thontrack spreads its massive wings, gathering freezing blue energy to blast the oncoming threat. Trong No leaps high into the air, raising an enormous warhammer to smash the dragon. Thontrack screeches, quickly conjuring a glowing protective barrier. However, the brute's heavy hammer strikes with enough savage force to shatter the shield. With another heavy blow, he sends the dragon crashing down. The impact completely shatters the rocky ground below. Lu Mu laughs maniacally, whipping out heavy iron chains to bind the beast's neck as it struggles to break free. Trong No leaps down, hammering the pinned dragon. Zhu Minglang watches the struggle, realizing this Lu Mu is likely just another puppet. Crossing his arms, he wonders where the real puppeteer is hiding. Suddenly, a rustle behind him makes him spin around in surprise. There is Ngobong, desperately clinging to the rocky cliffside as he slowly claws his way up the edge of the abyss. Zhu Minglang casts a side glance, secretly knowing his dragon is not nearly this weak. He purposely ordered Thontrack to play dead to lure out the real mastermind. Watching the dragon struggle, he grins, knowing the trap has been set and it is time to strike back. His expression suddenly turns cold as he shouts, "Thontrack, let loose!" Hearing that, it immediately raises its head to let out a massive roar. Qing Zhuo uses his shadowless slash to strike directly at him. "Eat this!" It unleashes several poison blade dragon slashes down on Lu Mu and Zhong Nu. He gets hit squarely, and fresh blood keeps pouring from his deep wounds. She raises her hand to create a massive shield, blocking the oncoming attack. Lu Mu turns her head with a mocking sneer. "Zhu Minglang, you only rely on this dragon to protect your pathetic dog life." Qing Zhuo spits a blast of green light, and Zhu Minglang shouts out, "Shut your mouth." The dragon then spits a stream of blue flames straight down. Lu Mu screams with a twisted face, "I'm going to kill you." Right then, a flash of light sparks inside Zhu Minglang's mind. He tracks the light connecting Lu Mu and Zhong Nu, letting out a cold snort, "So that's where you're hiding." Zhu Minglang glances back and barks an order, "Wu Peng." Her real body is hidden in the southern forest. Find a way to get close and take her down. Seeing him sink into the ground, Zhu Minglang realizes Wu Peng is an earthwood master skilled in earth techniques. This might actually work against that puppet master. This puppet master. Lu Mu lets out a piercing shriek, rushing straight towards Zhu Minglang. "This place has the perfect feng shui for your grave. Don't worry, I will make sure not even your bones are left." A faint green light flashes in Qing Zhuo's eyes. With a roar, two massive trees suddenly erupt from the ground, blocking them. Seeing this, Zhong Nu raises his hammer and smashes it hard into the trunk. Lu Mu frowns, slamming her hands against the tree. She breaks through the trunk only to see Zhu Minglang standing there completely still. With a cold sneer, she charges at him, screaming, "Die!" But look at her face now, she's completely frozen on the spot. Zhu Minglang raises his hand, smiling, "What a pity, you were almost so close to succeeding." Wu Peng walks over from the distance, dragging a captured assassin. Zhu Minglang looks down at her. "Did you really think your petty tricks could escape the divine eyes of the Zhu family?" The assassin screams out, "I am just a hired killer. Even if you kill me, they will still come for you." Zhu Minglang smiles coldly, leaning in close to whisper, "Tell me, weren't you sent here to find Zhao Ying?" "Well, I have got some bad news for you. I already threw him off the cliff to feed the crocodiles." His expression darkens, but feel free to come after me any time. The crocodiles down there are always begging for a few more bodies. Hearing this, the assassin looks up, pleading, "I was forced by Qing Feng to assassinate you. I will tell you everything you want to know, just please spare my life." Zhu Minglang scoffs. Zhao Ying didn't have any valuable intel. So what could you possibly offer me? How about this? You were captured by Wu Peng. Go ahead and beg him. If he agrees to let you go, I will spare your life. But before she can even speak, Wu Peng snaps her neck without hesitation. Meanwhile, over at Tea Garden Mountain, the lights inside Mingyuan's studio are still burning bright. Zhao Yu stares at the glowing red light in his hand, asking if Zhu Minglang has taken care of everyone. And Qingfeng nods yes. We've confirmed he came completely alone this time, with no inner courtmasters from the Zhu sect backing him. He frowns slightly, then breaks into a cold smile. Honestly, I was hoping he would stir up some real trouble. Ever since he got crippled, he doesn't even have the right to stand as my rival anymore. Hearing this, the other man frowns in agreement. You are right. Those who can actually compete with us now can be counted on one hand. I just don't get why Wen Lingfei chose a useless piece of trash like Zhu Minglang. Zhao Yu speaks up. Miao State has always kept its distance from the imperial capital, especially when it comes to the royal family, so her distant attitude isn't really surprising at all. And Qingfeng immediately replies in the end. She simply doesn't know what's good for her. Thinking she's so special, she's definitely going to regret this. He reaches for the teapot, proposing, why don't we just get rid of Zhu Minglang once and for all? And Qingfeng pours the tea with a laugh. Li Taimo is indeed a decent candidate, but Wen Lingfei is still a much better prize. Zhao Yu bursts out laughing at that. Do you really think this prince is the type to pick up some leftover, ruined woman? And Qingfeng smiles, quickly explaining that's not what I meant at all. She could never be your official princess, of course, but keeping her around as your personal plaything wouldn't be bad. He raises an eyebrow, questioning, but doesn't that depend on what your An Prince mansion can actually pull off? And Qingfeng smiles and confidently guarantees, do not worry. I promise that before you leave Qingheng, Zhu Minglang will disappear from this world forever. As he steps out of the room, Zhao Yu calls out from behind, fine then. I will be waiting for your good news. And Qingfeng turns back, snorting coldly. We all know Zhao Yu is secretly obsessed with Wen Lingfei, yet he is still pretending he doesn't care. You want Zhu Minglang dead but want my unmansion to take the fall. You are seriously underestimating me. Suddenly, a dark figure speaks from behind the curtain. Are you really letting An Qingfeng handle Zhu Minglang? Zhao Yu looks back over his shoulder, replying, it is all about playing the part. If I don't pretend to hate him, how would An Qingfeng ever trust me? Don't worry. Since Zhu Huangfei asked for my help, I will absolutely assist everyone in wiping out Prince An's forces both inside and outside of the Zhu sect. Zhu Huo pulls back the curtain and steps out, noting that the fire ritual is in 4 days, and they might still need to rely on the little prince's power. His promising voice rings out, do not worry. This operation will definitely deal a heavy blow to Prince An's mansion, making it hard to threaten your Zhu sect anymore. The next morning, at Zhu Minglang's inner courtyard, Zhu Rong whispers to ask brother, I got some news about the mystic realm from father. There is good news and bad news, so which one do you want first? Zhu Minglang hears this, smiles, and says, let's hear the good news. She raises her hand excitedly to ask brother, do you know why we must pick a specific day to enter the mystic realm? He folds his arms and replies, our Zhu sect is big on metaphysics, so we normally check the almanac for any major events. Zhu Rong shakes her head to deny it. No. If the timing is off, even father cannot find where the mystic realm is located. Zhu Minglang asks back in confusion, what do you mean? She holds up 3 fingers to answer, we must match the rising tide, wind direction, and air pressure. He asks in confusion, wait, did you not say there are 4 elements? Where's the last one? Zhu Rong's voice chimes in, that is the bad news. We are still missing one critical element. Zhu Minglang immediately stands up and says, we do not have much time left. We will find the 3 elements first and adapt. Inside the soul realm, he pats Tiansha's head, let's go hunting. We must find a 20,000-year-old sacred beast to let you drink your fill. Zhu Minglang sees him refusing to budge and shouts, what is the single most important thing between a dragon master and his dragon? Trust. He circles around Tiansha and lectures, if we don't trust each other, how can we survive in this incredibly cruel and treacherous world? I secured crucial info about that sacred spirit just for your sake. Do you think this is easy for me? Yet you still doubt my word. Finally, he loses his patience, opening his jaws to roar, enough already. Are you trying to annoy me to death, kid? Let's just go already. Over the Ni Sea, Tiansha flies with Zhu Minglang, who reaches out to feel the wind, thinking that if their starting direction is correct, the wind won't shift. After that, Zhu Minglang calmly notes, it is not here. Hearing this, the dragon roars in fury, you brat. Didn't you say you had solid info? Next, Tiansha carries him forward to continue searching. Zhu Minglang scratches his head in utter confusion, not here either. A purple light flashes around the dragon as he threatens, get it wrong again, and I will feed you to the sharks. By the time dusk falls, Zhu Minglang looks around, saying they searched all day and only found this specific area matching the tide, wind, and air pressure conditions. He hangs his head with a sigh, too bad we are missing that last element, so we cannot be sure. Tiansha roars in absolute fury, what? You are deliberately playing tricks on this Dragon King, kid. Right then, a sudden flash of inspiration strikes Zhu Minglang's mind. Wait, what is that? Both of them suddenly stare down in complete shock. The ocean waves start violently churning and rising high, before a bloodlust dragon shark suddenly erupts from beneath the surface. An evil flood dragon also emerges from the water, swiftly gliding past the dragon serpent's massive body. Riding on Tiansha, Zhu Minglang spots it and realizes this evil flood dragon has nearly 30,000 years of cultivation, even stronger than the Sky Eagle Emperor. Watching it dive back down, he wonders if it is tracking the thermal energy signature hidden deep inside the leyline rift. Zhu Minglang frowns in thought, meaning if we simply follow this beast, we can easily locate the earth vein fire fluid. Carried into the sea by Tiansha, he boasts, "See, I promised you a full meal. Does this flood dragon suit your taste?" The dragon quickly pursues it, declaring he is highly anticipating this feast. Seeing Tiansha hot on its trail, the evil flood dragon asks, "Why are you chasing me?" Suddenly, dozens of its afterimages shoot from the seabed towards them. Tiansha easily weaves through them, trying to block this Dragon King is utterly foolish. Next, he opens his jaws, unleashing a massive purple vortex directly towards the evil flood dragon. That vortex quickly obliterates every single afterimage around them. Swimming down rapidly, the panicked flood dragon shouts, "I did not even provoke you. Why hunt me?" Tiansha roars back in response, "Do not run, and let this Dragon King drink some of your blood." Swiftly gliding forward in dark shadow form, Zhu Minglang spots the deep rift we found it. Looking straight down, he suggests, "Go play with the flood dragon while I head down to check." Zhu Minglang gets tossed down by Tiansha, yelling in frustration, "Don't play me dirty like this," he screams, falling straight into the dark rift as thick dust billows high. Zhu Minglang looks at the lava flowing before him. It is definitely here. Luckily, we did not make a massive scene, or this erupting fire fluid would have vaporized me instantly. He then cautiously creeps toward the glowing lava. Zhu Minglang uses a porcelain jar to scoop up some of the lava. Looking at the stack of filled jars lined up around him, he bursts out laughing, boasting that this massive supply of geothermic fire essence is probably enough to power the inner courtyard for years. Sealing the porcelain jar, something suddenly catches his eye as a small pebble tumbles down, splashing straight into the molten lava. Looking closely at the magma, he realizes all this geothermic essence is flowing from this massive core. If he could actually harvest this core directly, well, get ready, because his sheathed sword suddenly starts vibrating like crazy. Zhu Minglang quickly checks on it, asking if it wants out, and the blade immediately hums in eager response. Rubbing his chin, he stares at the magma, wondering if his Linlong sword wants this core. A sudden realization hits him: this geothermic liquid is meant for forging, and his sword is an artifact spirit. With spirit fire tempering, maybe it can undergo its transformation much faster, making this core his absolute best option. He immediately summons the Linlong sword, and it dives straight into the boiling pool of magma. Seeing the boiling lava erupt, Zhu Minglang completely freaks out, yelling at his sword to at least warn him next time. Clutching his head, he cries out in absolute panic, sure that this entire geothermic vein is completely doomed. Is he seriously about to be killed by his own dragon? My precious vein, my dragon is gone. Zhu Minglang looks up and spots a narrow crevice in the ceiling, shouting that he has to squeeze in there. He sprints toward it with everything he has. Just as he dives in, massive flames shoot up. Talk about a close call. He softly calls for his sword. Hearing his voice, the Linlong sword shoots straight out of the raging fire like a rocket. Wiping the soot off his face, he sighs in relief, knowing his resilient sword is tough enough to handle the heat. Looking back, the exit is still blocked by roaring flames. It looks like his only choice is to explore deeper into this crevice. Right at the end of the tunnel, a strange, glowing light catches his eye, and he quickly moves in to investigate. Discovering a pristine underground lake, he marvels at this gorgeous, hidden paradise. But then, he suddenly freezes. A mysterious figure is sitting nearby. Why on earth is a woman sitting in this damp cave? But the moment she turns around, his jaw drops. It is Li Yunzi, my wife. Tears streaming down his face, he runs forward, crying out and asking how she got down here. Suddenly, Xinhai pops out and smacks his head. "Wake up, you brat. Look closely at who it really is." Another sharp smack to his shoulder makes Zhu Minglang yelp in pain. Rubbing his eyes hard to clear his vision, he lets out a confused groan. Seeing her face clearly, he screams, calling her a demon dragon woman, but Xinhai raises his fins, protesting that she is a Nuwa dragon. Scratching his cheek, he repeats the name in confusion, while Xinhai gets incredibly excited, shouting out in absolute joy. He shouts that Zhu Minglang has struck legendary luck, as finding a Nuwa dragon signals a grand destiny. For any cultivator, she represents the path to immortality, sainthood, and becoming a grand ancestor. But Zhu Minglang is just completely lost, asking what those titles even mean. He asks why he saw his wife instead, prompting Xinhai to enthusiastically explain that with this kind of divine blessing. Now here is the crazy part. Anyone seeing this divine creature for the first time will lay eyes on their deepest heart's desire. Still rubbing his chin, he asks what that even means. Rolling his eyes, Shinhai asks how a kid usually so smart can be so incredibly stupid today. Zhu Minglang's face goes pale as Shinhai explains that he is just terribly lonely and missing women, making him break down crying, shouting that he really misses his wife. Meanwhile, a divine, brilliant light washes over the entire Li family imperial courtyard. Lying in her bed, the Li family matriarch smiles weakly, telling the girls that life, sickness, and death are just natural. Since she has reached the end of her road, they should celebrate rather than mourn. Just as Schwanger rushes in from behind, calling out to her mistress. Li Yunzi turns around to ask what's wrong, but Schwanger hesitates, prompting the matriarch to smile warmly and tell her to go ahead and speak. Schwanger quickly reports that they have just received some extremely urgent news. Their scouts have found a mysterious gate inside the ancient ruins, radiating a brilliant golden light and immortal energy, which instantly makes the matriarch sit up in excitement. She gasps about the legendary Dragon Gate, leaving Li Yunzi and Lingsha completely puzzled as they ask what that gate even is. Every living thing has a spirit, and crossing the legendary Dragon Gate allows a creature to ascend into a dragon. Legend says our very world has its own gate, and if someone manages to pass through it, the matriarch adds that the stars, the sun, the flora, and every single soul in existence will undergo a monumental evolution. Frowning, Li Yunzi and Lingsha ask if their world truly has such a gate, and she firmly confirms that the Dragon Gate is indeed that boundary. With that, the old matriarch closes her eyes, tears streaming down her face as she peacefully passes away. He mutters constantly, saying that leaving the Dragon Gate to enter the mortal world means their era is finally coming. Seeing this, two girls scream in pure terror for their grandmother. Meanwhile, inside the cave, Zhu Minglang asks the dragon girl if she can speak. She looks back at him and instantly repeats his words, asking if he can speak. Thrilled, Zhu Minglang yells to Shingai that she can talk, while the dragon girl immediately mimics him, repeating the exact same thing. Frowning, Zhu Minglang demands, "Why are you copying me?" She instantly mimics his question right back, but standing right beside them, Shingai coldly points out that she cannot actually talk, and is simply repeating his voice. Scratching his head, he awkwardly asks if she is really just mimicking his voice. That means she has no idea what any of it actually means, causing Zhu Minglang's face to light up as he realizes things just got much easier. Holding out a piece of candy directly to the dragon girl, he asks if anyone wants a mint, leaving Shingai completely baffled and wondering what this guy is trying to do. Then, Zhu Minglang offers a piece to Shingai, telling him that it tastes delicious. He coaxes the master to try one, and as soon as Shingai pops it in, his eyes light up, declaring it is indeed incredibly tasty. Showing another piece, he explains it is mint candy from the human realm, made of mint and sugar water, urging the dragon girl to give it a try too. The dragon girl grabs the candy and pops it in, her cheeks instantly turning bright red as she dazedly cries out how delicious it is. Wait, she actually passes out, leaving Xingai in a total panic as he demands to know what he fed her. Zhu Minglang just sticks his tongue out, admitting it is actually wine-filled candy, sending Shingai into an absolute panic over what he is planning. He warns that this is the sacred Hongzhou spirit, and asks if he is crazy enough to kidnap her, but Zhu Minglang just laughs, asking how anyone could call this kidnapping. He says he has already tamed a terrifying disaster beast like the Tiansha dragon, so a little divine punishment is nothing new. Besides, heaven practically delivered this innocent dragon girl right to him, clearly signaling that he is supposed to look after her. Xingai's face goes completely dark, grumbling that while Zhu Minglang might never master actual dragon taming techniques, he says his master-level dragon swindling skills have already reached the absolute peak. But Zhu Minglang just smiles, declaring that once she eats his candy, she is officially his dragon. Deciding to attempt a soul contract, he gently reaches out to touch the sleeping dragon girl's forehead. Entering the soul realm, Zhu Minglang finds himself holding her close amidst a vast, pitch-black sea. Furrowing his brows, he wonders why this is happening. Opening his eyes to look around at the endless dark waters, looking around the desolate space, he whispers softly to himself, feeling a profound sense of sadness and isolation. Staring at the glowing red lava nearby, he realizes this is the foundation supporting the entire knee-high ley line. Next, he looks down at the heavy iron chains binding his hands, his brows furrowing as he spots the shackles. Gritting his teeth, Zhu Minglang tightly grabs onto the heavy iron chains. Now watch this. He strains with all his might to break his chains, but his face suddenly falls in pure dread. Suddenly, a terrifying vision flashes before him of massive ocean waves completely swallowing the entire land, making him scream out and snap wide awake. Waking up, Zhu Minglang gasps heavily, finding himself resting right inside the dragon girl's gentle lap. With teary eyes, Shingai quickly asks if he is all right, and Zhu Minglang rubs his head, replying that he is fine but wondering how much time has passed. The master frantically yells that it has been 3 whole days, saying his sudden coma almost scared him to death. Shocked that it has been so long, Zhu Minglang can barely believe it, prompting Xinjai to frown and ask what exactly he saw while he was knocked out. Slowly, Zhu Minglang turns his gaze back toward the dragon girl, resting behind him. Clutching his head, he sighs heavily and reveals he saw the collapse of Nihai, with billions of lives lost in a hopeless disaster. Looking straight at her, he explains that the Nuwa dragon's life soul is physically bound to the ruins, prompting the girl to softly repeat the word. Xinnai gasps in shock, realizing her fate is completely bound to the divine ley lines of the Nihai ruins. Turning to him, Zhu Minglang confirms it, explaining that she was actually willing to form a soul contract with him. But as he remembers the heavy chains from his vision, he adds that once the contract is officially sealed, his own soul will also end up chained to these ruins just like her, desperately asking Xingai if there is any way around it. Hearing this, Xingai adopts an incredibly serious expression. He explains his current cultivation is too weak to move the ruins, but they might be able to sever a single strand of her soul to free her. Terrified, Zhu Minglang asks if severing her soul will kill her, but the master closes his eyes and explains she won't die, though she will lose her divine status. Puzzled, Zhu Minglang asks what exactly a divine status means. Xingai gently explains that it is like a deity being cast down to the mortal world, permanently losing their right to enter the heavens. Dripping in cold sweat, he asks if her realm is so ridiculously high she could actually become a god, making the old man frown helplessly. Of course, what you see is probably just her avatar, born from her intense longing for freedom. Her true body likely merged completely with the ancient earth, so just try communicating with her and ask if she is willing to give up her own destiny. Zhu Minglang looks down at the young girl and asks, "Can you lead me to the divine earth root holding your destiny soul?" She immediately cries out in agreement, quickly turning around and heading straight into the dark path ahead. Following close behind, he speaks up this path actually leads to the earth vein fire core. "I want to save you, not have you find an exit for me." Hearing her cry out again, Zhu Minglang wonders in confusion, what does she mean by that? Is the fire core actually the divine earth root? Meaning that, he suddenly turns back and yells excitedly, "Master Xingai. The earth vein fire core is the very destiny soul she transformed into." Xingai is left absolutely speechless. It looks like her true body is indeed a savior goddess deity. And if that is true, this gets much easier. Zhu Minglang immediately asks how so, as the old man's voice echoes, starting to explain the ancient secret. Her true self sacrificed her flesh to form the earth veins and her soul to create the fire core, while her remnant dragon energy birthed new life. He gasps in sheer shock, meaning if we just sever the connecting thread inside the earth vein fire core, she will become a free individual and can leave, which Xingai quickly confirms is absolutely correct. Deep inside the cave, a brilliant red light flashes as Zhu Minglang steps forward, only to hear a sudden, furious, "Shout, you scoundrel! How dare you!" Diving behind a massive rock, Zhu Minglang's mind races. People are already here. Has the sacred fire extraction ritual actually started? Peering inside, he frowns in confusion. What is going on? It looks like there are others besides the Drukmon sect here. Looking closer, he spots a crowd of bodies scattered across the floor, prompting him to whisper to the little girl, "Do not worry, I will protect you. Wait here while I go sever that destiny soul thread, and get your freedom back once and for all." Down below, Thon Fong shakes uncontrollably, pointing a trembling finger as he screams, "You are absolutely heartless. How could you betray my trust like this?" While Dertiu calmly watches the flames rain down from above, Varnghan glares at him and roars, "If you do this, do you really think Trukwangfai will spare you?" Smirking, Zertil turns to them with a smug, mocking grin as he asks, "Tell me, Trukwangfai, I promised Trukwangfai that I would wipe out everyone from the Prince Mansion to assist your inner court, so just look around. Are there not enough dead bodies for you?" His cold face darkens as he growls out slowly, "But then again, I never actually promised I would spare your Drukmon sect, did I?" Making Varnghan scream in pure rage, "You backstabbing, treacherous maniac. Now that is a wild twist. This guy was a double agent all along." Varnghan roars in desperation, "Do you really think killing us will let you look down on Kirkding?" But Dertiu just laughs, "And why should I not look down on them?" Suddenly stopping, Dertiu bites his lip hard before raising his hand high to gather a massive surge of dark energy, saying, "Then let me show you exactly how my next summon is going to completely crush Kirkding." Dertiu laughs, "Everyone only knows about my sacred bamboo dragon, but they have no idea that this Hawasi ancestral dragon is my ultimate, strongest trump card." Right on cue, the massive Dragon Lord level Hawasi ancestral dragon quickly manifests. He glares at the survivors and roars, "This earth vein fire core possesses a divine pulse, perfect for fueling my dragon's growth, and once that happens, your entire Drukmon sect and the Prince Mansion will all crawl on their knees beneath my feet." But a sudden, massive rumble cuts him off, drawing his attention. Hearing the heavy noise, the ancestral dragon quickly coils itself around the top of the cliff, as Dirtiu looks around and demands, "What was that sound?" The dragon peers down below, answering it is likely just the sacred spirit resting deep within the earth vein scar. Dirtiu barks out an immediate command, "Go check it out, do not fight, just drive it away." While Trukdung notices a narrow crack in the cliffside nearby. Rushing to support Varng Han, she whispers, "Father, look, there is a narrow crack in the wall. We can use it to escape in a minute." But Varng Han, clutching his bleeding wound, replies, "My organs are ruptured and my soul is damaged. I cannot run. I truly believed our inner court would rise today, but we could not even protect the sacred divine fire," making Trukdung scream out in panic, "Father," while he looks back with deep, grim determination. Helping him to his feet, Trukdung asks in fear, "What are you doing, Father?" As he stands up and glares ahead, shouting out, "Your knowledge of this volcanic range is limited, and if you cannot control this primal fire, even your Huasi dragon will be completely reduced to ashes." But Dirtiu just scoffs back, "I am a true cultivator. If I feared danger, I would have just stayed a lazy prince." Hearing this, Varng Han shouts out, "I will guide you through the rhythm of the fire tide if you let Dung Dung leave safely, and with my help, your dragon's chances of ascension are extremely high." Narrowing his eyes, Dirtiu asks, "Can I actually trust you?" While Varng Han points toward the flowing lava stems and says, "Just look at those flowing fire veins. They form a perfect circle with an extremely high temperature, surrounding the center of the fire stamen, and a single mistake can trigger a massive fire tide, instantly turning even a Dragon King to ashes." Varng Han frowns and adds in a low voice that there are especially many around the fire stem. Suddenly he gasps in shock, his eyes widening as he wonders, "Is that Zhu Minglang? Did he actually lure the Thon Truklong away?" Zhu Minglang stands on the cliff while below. Dirtiu crosses his arms and urgently demands to know why he stopped speaking. Varng Han catches Zhu Minglang's subtle hand signal to peel the restless fire stem, quickly understanding his intent and immediately covering his mouth to hide it. He coughs and lies that the stamen is surrounded by a powerful force, so the dragon must peel off that restless fire stem first. Hearing this, Dirtiu laughs and commands his beast Perfect, "Huasi, tear that fire stem apart. That divine stamen will help you evolve into a Dragon King." And hearing this, Huasi immediately charges straight into the blazing flames. It lunges toward the fiery divine stamen but is violently blocked by the raging heat, making its eyes shoot wide open. Huasi glares in disbelief at the flaming ropes wrapping around its body, letting out a massive roar. "Do you really think a mere illusion can bind this mighty dragon?" Flexing its claws, the beast touches the fire before violently tearing the flames apart, roaring out, "Get the hell out of my way." The protective petals shielding the divine stamen instantly shatter, raining down in pieces all around them. Dirtiu screams in absolute excitement that divine stamen is mine, a treasure only meant for those with a truly godlike destiny. "Oh, you are going to love this." Huasi snaps its jaws shut on the stamen, only for its teeth to hit solid metal and shatter instantly. Dirtiu scowls and yells, "What is going on here? Why does this divine stamen feel like hard metal?" Staring at the glowing red stamen, he can't help but ask himself, is this also nothing but a clever illusion? He whirls around to demand answers from Varng Han, but freezes in absolute shock when he sees that the father and daughter have completely vanished. From above, Zhu Minglang watches Dirtiu lose his mind, screaming for whoever is sneaking around to show themselves to this prince. Trukdung gasps and begs her cousin to run immediately, warning him that Dirtiu has a Dragon King and is way too powerful. Zhu Minglang's expression darkens, but he gives her a reassuring smile and tells her to rest here and stay hidden. Zhu Minglang leaps down from on high and yells out, "Dirtiu." Dirtiu whips around and sneers Zhu Minglang. "I wondered who it was. Turns out it's a petty thief like you who stole my Hoa Dik Nin Tirn." Glaring at him, the prince asks with a cruel grin, "How about we play a little game, Zhu Minglang? You can run right now, but you better run incredibly fast, faster than the flight speed of my Hawa Silong," he says, licking his lips with a twisted smile. "You'll be the very first fresh snack my dragon devours to become a king. After all, your running skills have always been pretty decent, but let's see if you can escape this time," he mocks, as Zhu Minglang just smirks. He smiles, admitting his opponent's beast isn't bad, but then raises a single finger to propose a different game. "Let's play something else. If your Huasi Long is really that amazing, can it actually survive a single strike from me?" Hearing this, Dirtiu covers his mouth and laughs out loud, asking if he's really trying to bluff when it's obvious he has absolutely no cultivation left. Zhu Minglang calmly smiles and reminds him, "Didn't I already tell you that I'm a dragon shepherd now?" Dirtiu clutches his stomach, roaring with laughter. "Oh right, a dragon shepherd. So where on earth is this dragon of yours? Summon it out so we can all have a look," he mocks. But then Zhu Minglang's eyes flash crimson as he gathers energy, whispering, "As you wish." Zhu Minglang raises both hands, focusing his energy to summon the mighty sword spirit dragon. The divine stamen vibrates with a low hum as Mokta materializes in a flash of brilliant crimson light, and he instantly reaches his hand toward the glowing blade. Beams of light shoot straight into the sky, releasing a powerful, echoing hum. Instantly, a massive sword projection manifests in his grip, and as he thrusts it forward, the giant phantom of the vermilion birdsword materializes, causing Dirtiu's face to pale as he desperately yells for Huasi to block it. Hearing this, Huasi lets out a massive roar, throwing its massive body directly against the vermilion bird phantom as they collide in a violent, blinding explosion of dust. As the smoke clears, Huasi collapses to the ground, forcing Dirtiu to his knees with a hard slam as he quickly wipes blood from his mouth. Talk about a total boss move. Zhu Minglang rests his sword on his shoulder, saying he could easily slaughter 10 more of those with one strike. Dirtiu's face twists into pure fury as he raises his hand to summon yet another powerful Dragon King. He screams that they cannot live under the same sky, and the mighty King Tier Kim Ma Longvung quickly materializes. Seeing this, Zhu Minglang remarks that it is no wonder he was so cocky since he has 2 Dragon Kings, before coldly adding, "Too bad you had to cross paths with me." Clutching his chest, he screams in absolute rage, "Zhu Minglang, you killed my precious Huasi Long. Even if you cut off my ascension path, and even without my Huasu Long, I am still a Dragon King level powerhouse. And you, Zhu Minglang, relying only on that sword spirit dragon to defeat me is the absolute height of stupidity." Zhu Minglang rests the sword on his shoulder, sneering as he asks, "What do you think is holding back your Than Truk Longvung?" Dirtiu's eyebrows furrow in panic as he cries out, "Could it be?" Zhu Minglang just smirks, letting out a mocking laugh. Right above Zhu Minglang, Tiansha appears and bites the neck of Than Truk Longvung. Zhu Minglang turns and praises him incredible, actually taking down another same-level Dragon King. Tiansha lets go, smiling as he says quite simple, pointing at Zhu Minglang in utter disbelief. Dirtio roars impossible. "You barely became a Dragon Master. How could you have a Dragon King? Even if you do have one, so what? Do you really think defeating Than Truk Longvung comes with absolutely no price? Just dealing with trash like you, there's no need for 2 Dragon Kings anyway." Charging forward with his sword raised, Zhu Minglang shouts, "You are only fit to be my whetstone." He slashes hard at its claws. But watch out because this is where the table turns. Kim Ma opens the third eye on its forehead, casting a blinding crimson light on Zhu Minglang. Freezing in place, he cries out, "This is the eye domain." Watching dozens of eye illusions materialize, Dirtiu laughs, "Keep being arrogant. You are going to end up in my dragon's stomach." Trying to move, Zhu Minglang whispers, "Not good. I cannot move my body." Kim Ma opens its mouth to crush Zhu Minglang. Trapped in the eye domain, he groans, "This is bad. I am completely paralyzed." Furrowing his brows, Zhu Minglang unleashes a brilliant purple light from his body, forming a powerful void dark dragon domain. The eye domain gripping Zhu Minglang rapidly dissolves, and he immediately looks up to speak. "Thanks, Tiansha Long." Hearing this, the proud dragon looks away and retorts, "There will not be a next time." Smirking, Zhu Minglang declares, "Now it is my turn." Gripping his sword tight, he leaps high up and delivers a massive downward slash. Zhu Minglang slashes hard directly at its head. Kim Ma's third eye instantly widens, taking a direct hit from the sharp sword chi. Blood pours from its eyes as it howls in agony. Zhu Minglang laughs, "Do not worry, we are just getting started." Swinging his sword at Kim Ma, he laughs, "First I will shave off your scales, then we will make some dragon soup." Perched on the cliff, Tiansha continuously absorbs the beast's energy. Looking up at him, Dirtiu grits his teeth in frustration. This is bad. That Tiansha Long is a literal vampire dragon. If this keeps up, I am absolutely done for. I cannot keep fighting. Quickly, Dirtiu leaps right onto the shoulder of Kim Ma. Dirtiu yells down, "Zhu Minglang, you and I cannot share the same sky." Confused, Zhu Minglang asks, "Are you trying to run?" Standing on Kim Ma's shoulder, he screams, "Let's go." The giant beast quickly retreats, carrying Dirtiu away from the scene. Riding on Tiansha, Zhu Minglang pursues them, shouting, "Did I say you could leave?" Looking back, Dirtiu frantically urges his dragon to run. Unleashing a massive dragon head illusion, Zhu Minglang yells, "Go to hell." Dirtiu desperately orders his beast to breathe fire to block it. He screams, "Kim Ma, block it." The beast watches in absolute horror as the dragon illusion crashes straight toward them. With a pained groan, it flings Dirtiu away and collapses. Releasing his energy, he curses, "Damn it, I have already lost 2 dragons. Kim Ma absolutely cannot die here." Desperate, he screams out at the top of his lungs, "Kim Ma, return." And down he goes. Dirtiu crashes hard into the dirt, kicking up a massive cloud of dust. Landing gracefully before him, Zhu Minglang laughs, "Go on. Keep running. What else can you summon for me to slice up next?" Panicked, Dirtiu pleads, "Zhu Minglang, I have paid my price. If you let me go now, once I return to the Imperial Court, I guarantee I will do everything to secure the top sect status for your Trukmon." Zhu Minglang frowns, "If you said we cannot share the same sky, then prove it." Resting his sword on his shoulder, Zhu Minglang laughs out loud, "And if you cannot do it, I can gladly help you." Cornered, Dirtiu loses his mind, unleashing his beast and screaming, "Damn you, I will risk my life to kill you, Kim Ma." Smirking, Zhu Minglang laughs, "Perfect. Now that is some real backbone. Let me show you what I have got. Pointing his sword straight to the sky, he gathers massive crimson energy. He immediately unleashes the devastating Nine Sun Swords technique straight at his target. Kim Ma opens its mouth wide, but the sheer force of the energy slams directly into it as explosive sword chi erupts. Caught in the shockwave, Kim Ma stands trembling as the blasts erupt around it, its golden eyes flashing before letting out a massive roar. Brilliant crimson sword chi stabs straight into Kim Ma, engulfing everything. Only after a long moment does the heavy dust finally start to settle. Through the hazy mist, the beast stands completely motionless, covered in blood from head to toe before letting out one final, desperate roar. Zhu Minglang gasps in pure disbelief. How is this even possible? Its body is completely shattered, yet its rage is only growing stronger. Seeing this, Trier laughs out loud and boasts that his golden demon Dragon King won't be taken down that easily. He yells for his dragon to evolve, and its entire body turns blood red as it lets out a massive roar. The golden demon opens its jaws, rapidly gathering the surrounding energy, before launching a blazing red beam of light straight at the heavenly fiend dragon up above. Clutching its head with its claws, the dragon roars in anger. How dare you touch this Dragon King, you disgusting creature! Blazing red light flickers all over Tiansha Long's body as he screams in pain. This Dragon King is absolutely furious now. He yells that he can't take it anymore, unleashing his fusion glow technique to fire a devastating red light straight at the golden demon. Seeing this, Zhu Minglang is stunned. He thinks in shock that he's incredibly lucky to have signed a contract with the Tiansha Long when he did. Otherwise, if it ever unleashed its lantern tail technique, not a single living soul in this entire land would have survived. Trier immediately coughs up blood. He screams in absolute disbelief that all three of his dragons are dead. His eyes widen in terror as he looks up at the approaching youth, trembling from head to toe and begging Zhu Minglang, "Please don't kill me." His face darkens. Coldly, he speaks, "You don't deserve to live." Staring at the blade pointed directly at his throat, he screams, "No, I don't want to die." And just like that, the fight takes a wild turn as a warrior from the Extreme Court Empire rushes in, glowing with blue light. Zhu Minglang grits his teeth and spins around. Using his martial sect Grand Ki, a massive phantom fist smashes forward as he roars out, "Take this strike of mine." A massive explosion erupts. Dust rises high as bright red light flashes wildly in front of them. Zhu Minglang unleashes his 8 trigrams Fire Dragon Slash, stomping hard on the ground to launch himself forward into the smoke. The Extreme Court expert, shrouded in light blue energy, stares at the oncoming Fire Dragon Phantom as he and Zhu Minglang clash and pass each other in a flash. Glancing back, he realizes with a sinking feeling that this opponent possesses the strength of a martial sect master. His previous clash with the Dragon King took too much out of him, leaving him completely exhausted. Meanwhile, the Extreme Court Elder's arm trembles as he wonders in shock what kind of sword master he just faced. So young. Yet his power is absolutely insane. Luckily, he managed to dodge the head-on attack. Otherwise, it wouldn't have ended with just his light shield shattering. He turns to Zhu Minglang, pleading for him to show mercy and be generous enough not to hold a grudge against a foolish junior. Watching the warrior turn into a streak of blue light as he retreats, Zhu Minglang calls out, "So you came all this way just to ask for him back? Sure, I can let him go. Since he's the little prince, I can't just kill him on a whim." Grabbing Trier and flying over the sea, the elder calls back, "Farewell, sir, until we meet again." But Zhu Minglang's next words freeze him right in his tracks. "But that sneak attack of yours was pretty pathetic. Try that again and I'll cut you down too, you old lapdog." Hearing those words, the elder closes his eyes. He sighs deeply as the lapdog insult stings. Sometime later, the group gathers deep inside the cave where the elemental fire vein lies. Clutching his chest, Vornghan sighs and admits, "We got lucky with Zhu Minglang this time. I trusted that Trier kid and made a terrible mistake." Zhu Minglang just smiles, telling Uncle Vornghan not to worry about it before asking him to rest while he goes to inspect the fire vein. "Look at that." Zhu Minglang stares up at the divine pistol, wondering if the Neuroa dragon's life thread is hidden right here. Raising his hand to summon his blade, Zhu Minglang immediately swings it, unleashing a powerful strike directly at the glowing divine pistol. Seeing the life thread severed, he thinks he is pretty lucky. Trier's fire dragon helped strip away those seals earlier, or cutting this would have been a massive pain. The young Neuroa dragon looks down in joy as her heavy binding chains are severed. Elderveen frowns at the sight and asks why he cut the divine pistol when leaving it might have allowed the fire vein to recover one day. Vornghan immediately chimes in, reminding Elderveen that the vein was a divine gift they greedily hoarded, and it is only right to return it now. Zhu Minglang turns to him and says, "Uncle Vornghan, I still have things to take care of. You should take everyone back to rest first." He nods and warns him to be careful. Once everyone leaves, the Neuroa dragon beams at him with a bright smile, thanking him for saving her life. Looking up at her, Zhu Minglang says, "You are free to leave this cave now, and you can go absolutely anywhere you want." But instead of running, she suddenly leaps right at Zhu Minglang, giggling that since he saved her, she obviously has to follow him now. Patting her head with a smile, he reflects on how she can control the vast oceans. She is also the powerful spirit mother of the temple. Lucky for him, she chose to stay. Just then, Shin Hai appears, teasing that it looks like he is back on the hunt for the lantern jade again. Hearing this, Zhu Minglang asks back in total confusion why. The old man frowns and cries out, "I thought you severed her fate. Her divinity should have vanished completely, but somehow a tiny piece remains, even though her soul is just way too weak now." Hearing this, Zhu Minglang asks if she really needs an ancient jade soul bead to restore her soul, and Mr. Xing firmly replies that indeed, she herself is already absolutely flawless, but her fragile soul is holding back her cultivation level and magical abilities. Once they nourish her soul properly without needing any external resources, she will keep growing stronger. Right then, Zhu Minglang and Mr. Xing look over at Nuwa in absolute shock. Look at this, her eyes are tightly shut as tears stream down, turning into gorgeous pearls the very second they hit the floor. He gently raises a finger to comfort her. "Do not cry, you are not weak at all." She is already at peak master tier that makes her pretty strong in the outside world. Then he pats the dragon's horn to reassure her that it is fine. These ancient jade soul beads are everywhere, so finding one is pretty easy. And if she doubts it, she can just ask Tiansha Dragon. After all, Tiansha Dragon used to have one embedded right on his tail, but Tiansha Dragon just growls impatiently, telling the brat to stop bothering him while he sleeps, then grumbles at Nuwa as she reaches out to touch him, warning the little girl to leave him alone. The next second, Tiansha Dragon gasps in surprise, realizing this little girl can actually heal, and Nuwa just responds with a beautiful, bright smile. Patting Nuwa's head, Zhu Minglang realizes her healing technique is pretty different from his sister-in-law's celestial rabbit dragon, working more like a spiritual soothing that boosts Tiansha Dragon's own self-healing powers, so he smiles and praises her for being truly amazing. The next morning, in Qingcheng, inside Zhu Sect's inner courtyard, Zhu Minglang is sitting across from Uncle Wanghang. Just then, Zhu Rongrong approaches Nuwa and excitedly asks her brother if this is a celestial goddess dragon, calling her so incredibly beautiful. Nuwa actually repeats the word, causing the sister to gasp in shock that she can even speak. Uncle Wanghang looks extremely serious, calling out, "Zhu Rongrong." If Zhu Minglang had not secured enough fire liquid for them, their Qingcheng courtyard would have been completely ruined, so she needs to get over here right now and thank her older brother. Zhu Rongrong quickly speaks up to thank her brother, while Zhu Minglang takes the chance to ask Uncle Wanghang why he even agreed to work with that shady Zhao Yu. The uncle picks up his teacup, explaining that his eldest aunt, Consort Zhu, introduced them. Zhu Minglang frowns in confusion, asking if she is actually his biological aunt, since he has always wanted to know the truth. Placing his cup down, the uncle explains that many years ago, both his eldest and youngest aunts ended up in deep trouble. Frowning, Uncle Wanghang quietly explains that Zhu Minglang's father took them in to protect them, raising them as his sisters, and giving them the Zhu Sect surname, which led to his eldest aunt, Zhu Yuji, becoming the imperial consort and slowly gaining control over major political factions. In fact, their clan's current powerful status is entirely due to her secret support behind the scenes. Suddenly, he slams his fist on the table, declaring that is why he did not suspect anything when she introduced Zhao Yu to him. After all, the An Wang mansion has always been their biggest enemy. Pouring some tea, Zhu Minglang reassures him that his aunt was probably tricked by Zhao Yu too, since the guy is a total fraud, so there is no need to feel guilty. Smiling, he raises his teacup to thank Uncle Wanghang, saying that thanks to his valuable guidance, he finally finished forging the perfect dragon armor for his companion. Now that everything here is settled, he will be heading back to Mancheng this afternoon. Zhu Rongrong asks if he really has to leave so soon, begging him to stay, but he immediately waves his hand to refuse. He explains that he will not stay in Mancheng for long either, since he plans to head back to Lishuan quite soon, so the uncle tells him to travel safely. Back at the foggy Mancheng Dragon Academy, Mr. Xing walks closely behind Zhu Minglang, warning him that soul beads can definitely boost cultivation, but only if one possesses enough fate. Otherwise, no matter how many soul beads are consumed, the dragon will remain stuck forever at the peak of the master rank, prompting Zhu Minglang to ask what fate even means. Frowning, Mr. Xing says yes, but they can put fate aside for now, since advancing from master to king rank requires 3 strict conditions. First, he explains with a serious face, you need a king-tier soul bead. Second, you need rare natural anomalies, like the powerful earth-pulsing spiritual energy of a divine vein to assist you. He mentions that even Tiansha Dragon only managed to break through with the help of 7 massive calamities. Zhu Minglang eagerly asks about the third, but the old man pauses, blankly asking what third condition, forcing the boy to let out a dry laugh and remind him that he literally just mentioned 3 conditions. Zhu Minglang is left completely speechless as Mr. Xing changes his tune, claiming he must have misremembered since there are only 2. Stroking his chin, the boy silently sighs that the old man is having a senior moment. Hearing a massive rumble from behind, Zhu Minglang spins around to look toward the academy's busy battle arena. He suddenly remembers that the spring ranking tournament has officially kicked off, so he turns to Heya, telling him that while he is still below master rank, they should head over to get some training in, while also farming some points to buy resources for little Jiao Jiao. It excitedly raises its claws and screeches out, "I want to fight you," while the crowd watching the arena battle goes wild with excitement. "Come on!" Hong Hao looks over at him and shouts, "Zhu Minglang, we are right here." He glances at him with a grin, asking Zhu Minglang, "Want to go down and test your luck?" Hearing that, he asks in a low voice, "Do I need to register first?" Hong Hao points down and says, "Just sign up with the supervising teacher right by the arena." This is a King of the Hill match, where challengers take turns facing the current champion, until someone actually defeats them. Duanlan points down and adds, "Zhu Minglang, this arena does not have any limit on the number of challengers." Hearing this, he laughs and shouts, "So we can just farm them? How interesting." Xiao Ying also chuckles, calling out, "Wait a bit before going up." Right now, Dong Huinsin is ruling the stage with 13 consecutive wins. He is pretty insanely strong. Zhu Minglang instantly waves his hand, "No worries, dealing with these low-level students, I do not care who he is. My Heya Long needs a punching bag anyway." He reminds him, "But Dong Huinsin has a Dragon Lord up there, while your Black Dragon is only at the Master tier, right?" Zhu Minglang points to himself, proudly declaring, "If I step up there, then we play by my rules." The supervising teacher asks, without even looking up, "Do you want a challenge?" He grins and confirms, "Yes, I do." Holding her pen, she asks, "What is your rank among the combat students? Since the power gap can be pretty massive, we can only allow the top 200 students to go up." Zhu Minglang raises a single finger with a smile. First, hearing this, the supervising teacher asks in utter confusion, "Wait, is not the first rank Lair Hu? How did it suddenly become you? What is your name anyway?" He calls out Zhu Minglang. She immediately starts searching her list. There is no Zhu Minglang on these top pages. Seeing him turn and walk away, the teacher yells, "Hey student, come down, do not make this hard for me." Zhu Minglang laughs and replies, "Do not worry, I really am number one." She sighs, "Some kids just do not know their limits. If you want to get hurt, I won't stop you." And just like that, our boy steps right onto the battle stage. Dong Huinsin, a top student from the Pure Dragon Academy, crosses his arms and speaks. "I have never seen you, definitely not in the top 50. Zhu Minglang casually picks his ear, asking, "Do you even have a Dragon Lord? Hopefully its strength is decent." Hearing that, he immediately snaps, "Of course I do." Zhu Minglang raises his hand with a smirk, saying, "Then summon it. I have this little black dragon that needs some real practice, but facing your powerful Dragon Lord is a bit tough." Dong Huinsin frowns and barks, "If you do not have the strength, get your weak self off the stage." A smirk plays on Zhu Minglang's lips as he replies, "You probably do not get it." He summons Thon Trak, declaring he does not want to bully the weak. Zhu Minglang points directly at Dong Huinsin across from him, ordering Thang Trak, "Knock him down right now." Instantly, his beast lunges forward at the opposing dragon. Zhu Minglang simply closes his eyes, standing completely still as he waits. Dong Huinsin is completely startled, watching in absolute shock as his dragon gets blasted far away. He turns back, screaming in disbelief, "What on earth was that?" The supervising teacher clenches her logbook, shouting out in excitement as she finally finds his name. This Zhu Minglang is ranked over 13,000, yet he actually dared to call himself number one. Talk about being utterly shameless. She looks up at the arena in shock, wondering what on earth is happening as Dong Huinsin drops to his knees beside his fallen beast. "Little Zeet Zeech, what is wrong with you? Get up." Zhu Minglang looks up with a grin, calling out, "Listen up, fellow classmates. I need to train my baby dragon." Zhu Minglang spreads his hands, declaring, "I am setting a new rule right here today. You are only allowed to summon dragon beasts below the Dragon Lord rank." He summons Heya and boldly claims, "If anyone can defeat my black dragon, I will withdraw from this competition immediately." And you can bet the crowd goes absolutely wild at that, screaming in total rage, "Who do you think you are to make rules? Who do you think you are? Who is this arrogant punk anyway? So incredibly arrogant and self-important, he is the most annoying kind of person." Han Quan looks over to the man beside him and whispers, "Vice Principal. That is the expert who helped us capture Nim Trin." The Vice Principal gasps in total shock. So the Master of the Dragon King is actually him? Then a rule is definitely needed. Otherwise it is just too unfair. He immediately stands up to announce, "Fellow students, since this is the opening battle of our academy, every single student deserves a chance to show their skills. We cannot allow this grand stage to simply become a personal showcase for the high-level Lord-tier students." The Vice Principal's booming voice echoes across the arena, therefore, I find student Zhu Minglang's proposal to be highly reasonable. From this moment, no one is allowed to summon any dragon beast above the Lord tier to fight Zhu Minglang. Hearing this, the crowd explodes in anger. On what grounds? Why are the entire rules of the match being changed just because of one single guy? Yeah, principal. What happened to our academy standards? Farmchi tightly clenches his fists and roars out, I refuse to accept this. How can you change the academy's rules so easily? Frowning, he calls out that he has made his decision and the matches will continue, though he secretly sighs inside. You absolute fools, he thinks. I am actually protecting you. Because without this rule, you would be facing the Long Vung. Up on the stage, Zhu Minglang points right at Famchi below and calls him out for still being stubborn. Come on up here then, he demands with a deep frown. Surely your Thunglone Than Long is not just at the High Lord level, right? And Zhu Minglang smiles at his sharp eyes. Famchi points to Heya and says that Zhu Minglang has not refined this black dragon to his absolute peak yet. A Lord-class dragon has 6 traits, but yours only has 3 perfected, which are its scales, teeth, and fiery breath. The other 3 traits are still lacking, and hearing this, Zhu Minglang rubs his chin in deep thought about refining. Teacher Xinhai once mentioned strengthening different dragon parts, so this is what refining actually means, and he immediately asks why Lord class requires 6 traits. His voice explains that normal dragons have 1 trait, and dragon generals have 3. Dragon lords have 6 traits, and a Longquan has 9, which is exactly what makes them true dragons. Having more traits makes them stronger, and although upgrading cultivation will strengthen and transform these characteristics, not all of them will change automatically. This is exactly when a dragon tamer must refine them to absolute perfection. Hearing this, Zhu Minglang laughs aloud and realizes his Thunglone Than Long must have 2 unrefined traits left. But he secretly wonders why refining all 9 traits to the limit still does not feel like its actual ceiling. Famchi asks in utter shock if his Thunglone Than Long has really already refined 7 of its traits. Crossing his arms, Zhu Minglang calculates that his dragon has way more than 9 traits, with at least 4 left unrefined. Why do you look so pale? He summons his own dragon, claiming he cannot possibly lose at the Lord level, and his ice dragon immediately unleashes freezing frost, charging right toward where Heya is standing. Not backing down, Heya erupts in wild flames, and you can feel the hype as these 2 elemental forces crash head-on. Heya is forced back a good distance, while the ice dragon is also pushed back a few steps. Glaring coldly at Heya, the ice dragon opens its jaws to blast a freezing wave of frost. The ice dragon unleashes another freezing blast, and looking down at his frozen claws, Heya cries out that he is freezing cold. With a sudden strike, the ice dragon sends Heya flying, as Famchi folds his arms and boasts about his combat experience. He says he might trail in cultivation, but he will not lose in Lord-class combat, which makes Zhu Minglang grin. Telling him to watch out, Zhu Minglang watches the ice dragon raise its claws, but Heya's eyes suddenly glow crimson. The ice dragon spits frost to extinguish the flames, but Famchi gasps in pure shock at this powerful eye domain. He immediately clasps his hands to concede, and Zhu Minglang politely bows back, thanking him for the easy match. Throwing his hands up, he proudly shouts to the crowd, asking if anyone else wants to fight his dragon. The crowd goes absolutely wild with anger, screaming at his arrogance and calling for everyone to jump in and teach him a lesson. A whole mob rushes the stage, summoning dozens of different beasts. Heya looks back whimpering that Zhu Minglang has completely set him up to die, but the tamer just laughs nervously and tells him to hang in there. Raising his claws, the dragon kicks up a massive cloud of dust. Heya charges straight ahead, yelling at the weaklings to bring it on as 2 rival dragons snap their jaws right at him. But the moment they bite down, Heya is completely unharmed, while their shattered teeth rain down onto the floor. Honestly, the crowd is losing their minds, crying out in absolute despair because this beast is wearing literal dragon armor. They complain it is totally unfair for a mere dragon lord to wear armor that even a Longquan cannot obtain. Heya easily sweeps through the surrounding beasts, forcing them to retreat, which makes a nearby teacher panic and call out to the vice principal. Stroking his chin, the vice principal laughs and says it is fine. Isn't Zhu Minglang also our student? So there is no shame in this, and it is a perfect chance to humble these arrogant kids. Looking down, the teacher mutters to himself that this is definitely not a simple humbling. Suddenly, massive vines sprout from the arena floor, quickly binding Heya's entire body, but the furious beast immediately unleashes his raging flames to completely incinerate them. The sweeping flames incinerate the vines, making Zhu Minglang smile and praise Heya for a job well done. Right at that very moment, a mysterious figure suddenly appears right behind Zhu Minglang. The challenger points at himself, yelling for Zhu Minglang to face the mighty Uinu Tianduan, but the tamer casually waves him off, saying his dragon is too tired for another round. After that, Zhu Minglang calmly steps down from the arena, winking with a smile as he tells them, "You guys can keep playing." The spectators in the stands watch Zhu Minglang leave, completely speechless. Xiao Yan walks over with a laugh, shouting impressive, "Kid, you really stir up a massive storm wherever you go." Hearing this, he asks in confusion, "Was I really that flashy?" He slaps a book against him and says, "Like I would believe you, a sly guy like you should really stop pretending to be an innocent rabbit." Zhu Minglang looks at the book, asking what is this? Xiao Yan rubs his nose and replies, we have been friends so long, and I have nothing valuable to give you. Take this 13 draconic styles of the Luotian sect, and I will be clinging to your giant legs from now on. He gives a forced laugh, and hesitatingly mentions actually, I am getting ready to return to Lichuan continent. Hearing that, he grabs his head and yells, you are leaving already? I wanted to grab a drink with you, but looks like no chance. Zhu Minglang smiles and replies, do not worry, we will have our chance later. Then, riding on Tiansha, he quickly flies away. Zhu Minglang looks at Nuwa beside him and asks, do you understand this? Thinking to himself, it makes sense. Since you do not need to cultivate, you probably do not get this. Closing the book, he asks, do you have any special power you can show me? Something that will not hurt me. Nuwa reaches out to touch Zhu Minglang's chest, calling out, yes, I do. Her fingertip glows with a soft pink light, tapping against his chest. Now look at this, get ready for a mind-blowing transformation. He turns his head around, asking, why did you pull me into the spirit domain? Right after, a green sprout bursts through the soil. Suddenly, a massive thicket of bushes rapidly shoots up. Zhu Minglang watches the lush forest Nuwa created, letting out a wild cry. Oh my god. Tiansha, resting on the ground, also shrieks as he sees the forest. What is going on? She immediately raises her hands to explain, I am just improving the living conditions for you guys. Frowning in annoyance, he roars out, this Dragon King loves peace. Living in a shared dorm like this will make me rebel. Zhu Minglang turns around to ask, can we give the Tiansha dragon some private space? Nuwa gently nods in agreement, giving a soft hum. Hearing Tiansha grunt, he immediately starts translating. It says it wants a floating dragon cliff, too. Hearing the extra demand, he quickly adds, it says the cliff must be covered in starry sky grass. Tiansha immediately roars happily. Zhu Minglang smiles warmly, asking, can we get a piece of the starry sky too? Now this is a stunning view. Staring at the gorgeous world Nuwa created, he shouts in excitement, this is awesome, Xiao A. The black crow watches in shock. Seeing him jumping around with a glowing star stone, Nuwa gently reminds him this is just an illusion, not the real world. Hearing this, Zhu Minglang laughs and yells out, look at the cultivation speed of my spirit spring domain now. He shouts in disbelief, it went from over 100 before to over 200. How is this fake? Nuwa replies, in the outside world, I can build a real world, but my power is too weak right now. Zhu Minglang clenches his fists, looking up to shout toward the sky, I have decided. I will definitely gather all the ancient godly lanterns across the heavens to help you return to your peak. Back outside, Zhu Minglang stares at the meat roasting over the fire, noting, since Bai Qi and Nuwa both master the universe technique, they can store many items, allowing them to enjoy barbecue out in the wild. Touching his chest, he asks in confusion, strange. Why does my chest feel warm, like a tiny spark is burning? Hearing this, Xuan Inga puts her hands on her hips, asking, what tiny spark? That is the key to the spirit gate. Did you even bother to read the books I gave you? Remembering the glowing orb of light in his mind, Zhu Minglang gasps, could it be that? Then, he speaks up. But the book says opening the spirit gate grants a specific ability. Elder Shin, which ability do you think would be the best for me to unlock? Elder Shin replies, is that even a question? Obviously, expand your soul covenants. Your current number of covenants is just too low. He asks, can a single spirit key really grant that many covenants? The elder explains, not that many. Actually, one key can only add 2 more slots. Looking at Nuwa, Elder Shin adds, but how can a successful dragon master not keep a backup covenant slot ready? If another freeloading dragon girl like Nuwa shows up and you do not have a covenant, you will totally regret it. Zhu Minglang nods, speaking up, all right. Let's begin opening the gate of soul covenants then. He mutters, dragon discerning wisdom, revealing the hidden potential and skills of a contract dragon. But since I already have 13 draconic secrets from the Luotian sect, I do not really need this. What else is there? Holding up a golden orb of light, Zhu Minglang calmly says, shared fusion technique, allowing me to use a specific ability of my contract dragon, like utilizing the Black Crow's dimensional domain, switching to a glowing green orb, with sweat breaking out from the spiritual interference. He notes the chi-gathering taming art can make the domain energy far richer, but with Nuwa around, this is no longer necessary. In the air, countless glowing spheres spin, establishing the supreme rule to expand his soul covenants. Finally, Zhu Minglang locks onto a brilliant blue orb, sealing the shifting Dao patterns. I finally found it. Elder Shin says, great, now that you have an empty slot, go find a purple dragon, strengthen your soul bond, and playing the weakling will be so much easier. He replies with a quick, got it. Right then, Zhu Minglang frowns as a strange rustling echoes from the dark forest. A mysterious girl suddenly appears in the ring of fire, coldly blocking his path. He looks at Du Ying and asks, excuse me, miss? She gently pulls down her hood, staying completely silent. Sitting right beside him, Du Ying whispers, someone is chasing me, and since they do not know what I look like, let me hide here with you. Zhu Minglang is completely baffled, and just like that, their little piece is completely shattered. A cultivator approaches and bows, explaining that his sect is currently hunting down a rogue demon cultist. Have you seen anyone? He asks, introducing himself as Lin Zhong of the Baichang Sword Sect, alongside Ming Xu. She immediately replies that she has not seen anyone. Zhu Minglang thinks, is this girl really with the demon cult? Just then, another man steps forward. This is Elder Lei of the Baichang Sword Sect. Suddenly, Du Ying leans her head on Zhu Minglang's shoulder and tells them we are lovers. Elder Lei politely asks, then what are your identities, if I may ask? A young couple alone in these demon-infested mountains cannot possibly be ordinary people. He stands up to return the bow, introducing himself as Zhu Minglang, a humble swordmaster from the Jiaoshan Sword Sect. Lin Zhong gasps, Jiaoshan Sword Sect? Intrigued, Elder Lei looks at him and asks, then where is your sword? He summons his crimson flying sword, letting it swirl close to his body as he explains, I specialize in the flying sword technique. Elder Lei bows respectfully to the sword Moshi, honored to meet a cultivator from the famous Jiaoshan sect. Since that is the case, we cannot let you two sleep out in the elements. Why not stay as guests at our sect for a few days? Zhu Minglang bows, it would be rude to decline your generous hospitality. He figures these guys will not recognize her anyway, and getting a proper night's sleep at their sect beats staying out in this desolate wilderness. Zhu Minglang pats Du Ying's head, telling her, let's go, Little Blossom. Pack up the grilled beef, do not waste good food. She fumes inwardly. Little Blossom, could you please stop giving people random nicknames? Elder Lei instructs his disciples, Lin Zhong, Ming Xu, guide our guests back to the sect and take good care of them. The rest of you will continue the hunt with me. Ming Xu acknowledges the command as the towering spires of the Baichang Sword Sect glow softly beneath the starry night. Inside the guest room, Lin Zhong tells them you two can rest here for tonight. Tomorrow morning, I will return to show you around our sect. Zhu Minglang smiles, sounds great. Thank you for your hospitality. Ming Xu curiously asks, forgive my boldness, but are you two actually lovers? He chuckles awkwardly, well, not exactly. She was actually my headmaid. Unfortunately, my family elders looked down on her lowly status, so I decided to run away with her. Du Ying fumes silently, damn it, how did I become his maid? Lin Zhong is impressed, you are truly a romantic brother. I would never dare to defy my own family elders like that. Zhu Minglang shrugs, it is fine. Once she gets pregnant, my family will have no choice but to accept her to protect our bloodline. Du Ying grinds her teeth, you are pregnant, your whole family is pregnant. This guy is just too infuriating. Ming Shou smiles, then we will leave you two to your rest. Good night. Du Ying sighs in relief once they leave, thanking Zhu Minglang for hiding her. Du Ying turns to leave, bidding him farewell. Zhu Minglang quickly stops her, wait a minute, do not be so incredibly naive. If those guards actually trusted us, why do you think they escorted us all the way to this room? And believe me, he is not joking, one wrong move, and their defensive sword array will shred her to pieces. She stares at him, realizing his warning actually makes a lot of sense. Bewildered, Du Ying asks if you belong to a sword sect. Why help me? Zhu Minglang calmly replies, I make my own judgment calls. If you had actually committed some heinous, unforgivable crime, I would never shield you. He looks at her, so, what group do you serve? She quietly replies, the Huanmo sect. Zhu Minglang is puzzled, is not that magic, just a basic ordinary mortal technique? How did you end up labeled a demon cult? Du Ying sighs, sadly, it is a long story, I will tell you later. He nods, fair enough. By the way, even though I told them you are my personal maid, and we share a room, you will be sleeping on those pushed-together chairs. Face the wall too, because I am a man of strict principles. Du Ying fumes inwardly, if you are a man of principle, then I must be some loose woman. She breathes deeply, telling herself not to snap. He reaches out, pulling Du Ying's outer coat toward him. Zhu Minglang tucks it away. I will hold on to this stolen relic for now, so you do not cause me any more trouble. She snaps in pure frustration, give that back. That is a precious relic from my late mother. Where are you taking it? He calmly replies, I am hiding it because they will definitely search our rooms. Du Ying glares at him, I told you, I did not steal it. But Zhu Minglang has already drifted off to sleep, completely tuned out. Du Ying fumes silently, he definitely hid the relic right under his pillow and is just faking sleep. What a shameless, annoying jerk. Outside the manor the next morning, Lin Zhong greets them warmly. You two are up. My fellow disciples are practicing their forms. Care to watch? Zhu Minglang smiles, I would love to. Zhu Minglang and Lam Trung both look up at the sky while Min Tu speaks up. I have heard of the Bak Thuong sword sect flying sword for a long time, and seeing it today is truly amazing. Not bad. Is not the Jiao Sun sword sect where Brother Truck belongs also of the flying sword style? Care to demonstrate? He looks right at her, how do you want me to do this? Min Tu continues, there are 86 wooden pillars scattered throughout the valley. We must guide our flying sword to the end of the valley within the limit, hitting as many pillars as possible, which makes Zhu Minglang ask if time is measured by the hourglass. Lam Trung replies, exactly. Each trial cannot exceed half a notch of the hourglass. He points ahead, we also have a leaderboard to record achievements and rankings, so Zhu Minglang steps up and tells them to let him give it a shot. Too easy. But Lam Trung warns him not to take this valley run lightly. After all, the further the sword flies from its master, the harder it is to hit the target, prompting Zhu Minglang to focus and whisper some quick instructions. Check this out, he commands Moshi to strike down every single pillar, and it shoots forward like a flash of lightning. Mintu stares in absolute shock, gasping at how fast it is as red and black rings of sword light swirl across the arena, cutting off all escape. The disciples watch with jaws dropped, amazed at the sheer accuracy of the strike, while the girl keeping score calls out to Deacon Lam about the 86 pillars. He seems to have hit every single one, finishing twice as fast as Instructor Loi, who held the record. No way. Lam Trung bows with respect, you must be a grand swordmaster of the Jiao Sun sword sect. Zhu Minglang waves it off humbly, not at all. I am far from that level. My sword just happens to have its own spirit. It is pretty unique, but their chat is cut short as a panicked disciple rushes in to report that an injured Instructor Loi has returned, shocking Lam Trung. Early morning light spills over the wooden gates of Bok Thuong sword sect as a worried Lam Trung asks why the instructor has returned completely alone. When asked about the other disciples, the battered instructor delivers the crushing news they are all dead, wiped out in a demon cult ambush. Mintu bursts into tears, demanding to know how this happened, while Instructor Loi blames his own carelessness for giving chase, swearing that vengeance must be theirs. He vows to report this to Master Min immediately. They will surely get justice for their fallen disciples, but Zhu Minglang cannot help but wonder. Isn't the real demon cult girl standing right here with him? She was beside him all morning, and could not have set up any ambush, and Duan looks just as uneasy, leaving him to wonder what is really going on. Zhu Minglang pulls her aside and whispers they claim they were ambushed by the demon cult. So did they run into your partners in crime? Duan snaps back that if she actually had accomplices, she would not have begged him for help, just as Instructor Loi orders everyone to find the master. They quickly agree, and Zhu Minglang suggests they quietly trail behind them, to which Duan gives her silent nod of approval. Inside the sect, Trinmi demands to know what happened, and the instructor explains they found a demon cult outpost over at the Ho Din Inn. The moment Junior Brother Tu led his men inside to investigate, the trap was sprung. A bizarre hand shot out from the ground and grabbed me, and by the time I broke free, everyone was already gone. Trinmi stands up in a rage, asking if those cultists are still lingering inside the inn, and the instructor confirms they definitely are. They seem to be performing some kind of dark summoning ritual, so they will not leave anytime soon, prompting her to ask if he is absolutely sure. He is completely certain, connecting that strange hand rising from the earth to the dark beasts in the forest, swearing they are behind this. But wait, Zhu Minglang suddenly realizes the truth, while Duan is left totally stunned. Trinmi yells that there is no time to waste, ordering everyone to mobilize to the Ho Din Inn, as the disciples shout their agreement. She declares that they cannot let these cultists run wild, and soon the entire crowd starts chanting to wipe out the evil forces. Lam Trung turns to him, Brother Truck, as fellow sword cultivators. Fighting evil is our duty, so why not join us? Zhu Minglang agrees but makes one thing absolutely clear, his actions are never driven by sect politics, though if there is real evil to fight, he will not hesitate. Perfect. Lam Trung thanks him, glad for their help. Zhu Minglang secretly complains that their crusade has nothing to do with him, but sighs, realizing he cannot just stand by and let Jiao Sword Sect's name be ruined. Outside the Bok Thuong Sword Sect manor, the massive vanguard begins marching out. He leans in and whispers to Tu Huyen Hoa, asking what her cult is actually planning. But Duan insists she has absolutely no idea. Speak up. If you keep hiding things from me, I will not be able to protect you. The Bok Thuong Sword Sect and your Huanma sect are about to fight to the death, yet you are still playing games, leaving her silent. Duan finally speaks up, the Huanma art is not evil, and our sect has never committed any unforgivable crimes against innocent people. Yet that woman labeled us as heretics and put a bounty on our heads, prompting his frustrated reply, just because she calls you evil does not make it true. Who could block the truth like that? She spits the name out with anger, the leader of the Du San sect, Manbang Tu. Zhu Minglang thinks in utter shock, oh my god, what on earth is going on here? He asks her out loud, there has to be a reason for this, right? What did you guys actually do? Duan explains they are just terrified we will fully control the immortal ghost power and flatten the entire four great sects, which is why they are hunting us down like this. Zhu Minglang pauses in deep thought, these immortal ghosts were brought here by your Huanma sect, so if this is about them, you guys are definitely guilty. He continues, do not even try to tell me you do not know how many cultivators those immortal ghosts have destroyed. She speaks up, not every member of the Huanma sect participated in offering sacrifices to the immortal ghosts, and pretty much not all of them are bloodthirsty. Zhu Minglang snaps back, but right now, every cultivator is terrified of those immortal ghosts. How do you expect them to tell the kind ones apart from the monsters? Duan looks flustered, but he suggests unless you can actually summon a peaceful immortal ghost for me to see, maybe then I can find a way to help you guys out. She asks him anxiously, help us, but how can you do that? Are you somehow a leader of the four great sects? Zhu Minglang simply replies, Maringbung Tu, the one you just mentioned, is actually my mother. Duan gasps in utter shock, completely speechless, before screaming in furious rage, she is your mother? Do you have any idea how many of my family members she slaughtered? He snaps back coldly, those immortal ghosts killed 100,000 times more people than your relatives combined. Zhu Minglang commands explain everything about the immortal ghosts first, because if you are hiding any dark secrets, I will definitely show you no mercy. Duan speaks up, things have gotten this bad, so I will trust you. She continues that massive arm Master Loi mentioned rising from the ground is actually an earth immortal ghost we worship. They are currently gathering at the Ho Din Inn to cast spells. And get this, they want to completely free the earth immortal ghost from its seal. Zhu Minglang mutters in shock, summoning. The Huanma sect? You have highly powerful demon summoning arts but refuse to practice them, choosing ghost summoning instead? Have you all completely lost your minds? Yelling angrily, Duan snaps, if that is what you think, then we have nothing left to talk about. He quickly backs down. All right, let's both drop our prejudices. Please go on. Duan explains right now, our Huanma sect is split into two factions. One faction consists of summoners who have completely fallen into darkness, following those immortal ghosts and brutally slaughtering entire sects. She states the other faction is us. We form sacred covenants with them, controlling the immortal ghosts just like a dragon trainer controls dragons. Long Zhu Minglang questions, controlling them? Is that actually possible? Just go ahead and summon one right now to show me. Duan explains it is quite impossible here. It must be done in places with active worship or where we can draw power through specific sacred rituals. He asks again then, why have I never encountered an immortal ghost before? She coaxes him, if you come with me to the inn to rescue our people, I will tell you. Night falls over the Ho Din Inn, red lanterns lighting up the ancient curved roofs. As Zhu Minglang asks, wait, what did you just say? Sacrifices are needed to summon ghosts? Duan shushes him, whispering to keep his voice down. She warns if the offering is made, the earth immortal ghost will rise completely, and thousands of swordsmen from the Bak Thuong sword sect will be buried alive. He asks curiously, what kind of sacrifice are they using to summon it? Duan replies normally, they choose a black moon child, meaning a child born during a lunar eclipse. Legend says that after the baby is sacrificed, its immense, lingering hatred turns it into an immortal ghost itself. Zhu Minglang realizes, so that is how it is. You brought me all the way here just to rescue this innocent child? She nods, yes. Peering inside, they see a massive crowd gathered for the ritual. He asks, is this a festival? Why is it so lively? Duan answers they are mimicking traditional folk festivals to prepare for summoning. But listen closely, sudden screams erupt from outside. Over there, charge in and kill. Zhu Minglang realizes instantly the warriors of the Bak Thuong sword sect are here. She roars out, Trine Mi is here. You filthy Huanma cultists, come out and face your doom. Hong Tu snaps, Trine Mi is here. Everyone follow me. Protector Hong Tu of the Huanma sect commands, kill them. His disciples shout in unison. Hong Tu forms a two-finger hand seal, channeling massive, glowing spiritual energy. He roars to open the array. Instantly, Tring Mi stomps her boot, shattering stone tiles to kick up dense smoke. Suddenly, a bloody hand rises from the ground, covered in creeping red runes, stretching its claws toward the sky as she casts heavenly light purges demons. Earth destroys all evil. Trink Mi forms a hand sign, summoning a blue-flamed flying sword that circles as the giant bloody hand leaps up to crush her. The blue flying sword impales the hand to the stone floor. She gasps softly, shocked to see creeping purple demonic runes corrupting the blade. Zhu Minglang curses, holy crap, that really is an earth immortal ghost. He realizes this monster's sheer power might easily rival a Dragon King. If that earth immortal ghost escapes its seal completely, the consequences will be pretty catastrophic. Zhu Minglang urges, stay here and keep watch. I will find the Black Moon Child. Duan agrees. Opening a heavy door, he wonders, strange. Where could they have hidden the child? Zhu Minglang tenses up as a sudden voice rings out, there is a strange presence here. Search the area. Hiding behind a doorway, he watches two green-clad cultists whispering in the dark. Lur Hong Ma Ton of the Huanma sect steps forward, his expression calm yet deeply sinister. Zhu Minglang thinks to himself, this guy feels incredibly bizarre, but his status is clearly far from ordinary. Duan startles, looking up as a white-robed figure steps through the door. She asks anxiously if he found Huckweert Dongtu yet. Zhu Minglang says, no, but then he adds there was indeed someone there. He has two pink dots right between his eyebrows and long feminine arches. It looked pretty weird, so I decided to head back first. She explains that is Demon Lord Lo Jiang, and he is the one who demanded the sacrificial child. Zhu Minglang adds, but the child Nguyen mentioned was not at the inn. She insists she is telling the truth, and that their two factions broke ties a long time ago. She claims she is not their accomplice. He just smiles. Forget it. Let's go back. If you really belonged with them, you would have abandoned me a long time ago. Hearing this, Duan calms down. Looking straight at him, she gives a soft, faint smile. Night falls on the Baikthung Kimtong. The disciples stare at the sword tower in shock while Senior Zhu Minglang steps forward to speak. Little Dam Hoa is not feeling well, so we should head back first. Min Tu says, it is fine. We captured several Hoan Ma sect disciples alive, even though Guardian Hong Tu got away. Duan asks if they caught Lo Jiang, making the other girl ask, who is that? Now here is the crazy part. He believes this mysterious guy might actually be the absolute leader of the whole demon sect. She thinks, damn it, they let him slip away. The entire reputation of the Hoan Ma sect has been ruined by scum like them. Lam Trung says respectfully, that is right, Senior Truck. Tomorrow we are heading to the Lin Thark cave to cultivate. This cave gives a massive boost to cultivation. We have bothered you for so long, so would you like to join us, Senior? Zhu Minglang replies, I am kind of embarrassed, I barely helped at all. But the other man insists, Senior Truck, you are our guest, and we are incredibly grateful you helped us. Min Tu agrees. Lady Dam Hoa should absolutely come with us. The spiritual energy in Lin Thark cave can nourish her beauty too. He smiles, then it would be rude to refuse. Duan fumes secretly, my name is not Dam Hoa, it is Dirp Duan. Above them, silver moonlight bathes the steep cliffs as the group slips into the grassy mountain ravine. It is beautiful. Zhu Minglang marvels at the massive amount of spiritual energy here. Min Tu says you two should cultivate in peace, we will take our leave first. He nods farewell then. He tells the spirit beasts to run along and increase their cultivation. Then Zhu Minglang warns them, little Huang Ling, slow down, do not drink up too much of that energy. The little beast squeaks in reply. Deep inside the cave, blue crystals glow warmly around a stone table where someone sits peacefully. Duan asks little Huang Ling, do you want to give this energy to me? Thank you, you are pretty sweet. It squeaks back. Covering his ears, he groans, both of you have cultivation levels about to surpass Long Tu. Yet there is barely any sign of you turning into dragons. Zhu Minglang stands there helplessly, watching the two spirit beasts bicker. Claiming relations to dragons, he complains that transformation should be easy since he hates growing up. The beasts argue over eating meat to gain strength, asking if they really dislike it. He yells at them to get back, but some are fast asleep, while others keep drinking the energy. Zhu Minglang startles at the sound of Duan's voice. She asks if you are a swordmaster. Why raise these baby beasts? When we first met, I actually thought you were a dragon tamer. He grins, sword mastery is just a side gig. Having multiple skills keeps life stress-free. These are no ordinary beasts. Once they become dragons, they will easily surpass any spirit demons. She continues, thank your little Huang Ling. It just helped me break through to the next tier. Zhu Minglang chuckles, do not mention it. It just loves helping out. Duan suddenly remembers how the kind spirit demons used to act just like that. When travelers got lost or floods hit the forest, they would always protect them. She adds, I was saved by one too, while he listens in quiet silence. Zhu Minglang raises a tough question. Given last night's chaos, your sect has clearly gone dark. So can you really fix this alone? Flustered, Duan insists spirit demons are not all evil, and I will prove that to everyone. Keep fighting, he agrees with her. Though you haven't convinced me yet, I believe you will eventually bring some light to your sect. She murmurs that Nwit Sa Veil is the only relic left by my mother. She died by the sword of the Bark Thung leader, while the forest spirit demon she died protecting had actually saved lives for generations. Zhu Minglang speaks up, no wonder when you wore that Nwit Sa. My first instinct was to assume you were some evil witch. Duan snaps, where is my Nwit Sa? Give it back. He tells her it is outside, then suggests they head back first. But wait, look at his face, his eyes narrow as he suddenly catches the scent of blood in the air. Zhu Minglang thinks it is coming from the sect gate. She speaks up, I can feel the spirit demon right over there. The scene cuts back to the sword manor. Duan asks in surprise, where is everyone? Why are there so few people in the sword manor? Zhu Minglang says, look, it is Lam Trung and Min Tu, let's go ask them. He is quietly bandaging her wounds. Both are pretty scraped up, but still trying to keep their cool. Zhu Minglang asks Min Tu, why are you injured? What on earth happened? She gasps, the Hoan Ma sect is launching an attack on our mountain, and we could not hold them back. He frowns, where are the others? Min Tu speaks up, the elders took almost all our disciples to raid the Huan Ma sect nest, and they will not return anytime soon. Only 100 of us remain here. Zhu Minglang narrows his eyes at the horizon where swirling purple demonic energy rises up. From the mountain base, a demonic army surges forward like a rising tide, trapping them under a blazing purple fire rain. Duan urges with only 100 people, leave the mountain now. But they both snap back, no way. This is our sect home, and even if we die fighting, we will never let these demon cultists have their way. Right, Zhu Minglang thinks I already packed my bags and was ready to leave. But with the Huanma sect pulling this stunt, it looks like escaping this mess is pretty much impossible. Mintu quickly adds there is a secret exit in the back mountain cave. You two must escape now, and help Bai Chang's sword villa send word to the outside world. Zhu Minglang speaks up, I ate your food and used your spirit stone cave, so running away now would completely trash my conscience. Mintu, tell your people to retreat to the Changgu mountain platform while I guard this villa for you. She speaks up, young Master Truck. Everyone at our villa is already fully prepared to fight to the death. But you and Lady Deep have no reason to die here. He replies, drop it, this is my call, now do as I say. Duan snaps, are you completely insane? How do you expect to hold off an entire army of Huanma experts? Zhu Minglang replies, if they were willing to run, I obviously wouldn't be standing here in the first place. Why don't you try talking to them instead? Because if they actually withdraw, maybe the world will finally see them differently. She reluctantly sighs, fine. I guess I can only try. Duan knows she must speak with her uncle, or their sect will be branded as pure evil. Mingtu gasps, Lady Deep is a demon cultivator? Zhu Minglang nods, yes, but she is a kind one. She steps forward and calls out uncle. Lu Hong asks in total shock, Duan, what are you doing here? She sighs, it is a long story, uncle, but attacking this place will destroy any future our sect has left. Even if the Guangshanzi incident was just an accident, invading the Baichang sect today will turn the entire world against us. He roars in fury, how dare you speak like that? Are you worthy of your deceased mother's memory? If we do not slaughter these self-righteous hypocrites, how can we ever avenge our fallen brothers and sisters? Duan pleads, but mother only wanted our sect to finally have a respected, honorable name. Lu Hong scoffs, foolish child. Playing nice with those hypocrites is exactly what got your mother killed in disgrace. Once we wipe out these arrogant sects and force them to recognize us as the supreme leader of the four great sects, that will be our ultimate glory. He continues, now that we possess the immortal ghost, we never have to bow to anyone again. Lu Hong yells, slaughter them all. I want these sword sect dogs to regret the day they ever crossed us. Duan stands her ground, but we still must not harm innocent lives. He scowls in fury, yelling at her to get lost. Lu Hong barks his order, spare absolutely no one. His demonic disciples roar back in agreement. Her head spins, her uncle seems completely possessed by evil and won't listen to reason. What on earth can she do now? Both Lam Trung and Mintu watch in total horror, completely helpless as their disciples are brutally slaughtered. As desperate screams echo, Zhu Minglang commands, tell everyone to retreat into the Spirit Stone Cave. Do not scatter, or you will all be slaughtered. Lam Trung panic asks, but isn't that just a trap with no escape? Zhu Minglang replies with complete confidence, do not worry, I will protect you. He asks, skeptically, how can you possibly do that? You are only one man, and no matter how high your cultivation is, you cannot stop an entire demonic army alone. Zhu Minglang grins, relax, because I brought some backup of my own. With a flick of his wrist, a circle of bloody sword light erupts around him as a smug grin spreads across his face. Perfect timing to let his Linlong sword taste blood. Hongtu bellows out, who dares stand on that platform? Name yourself, for I do not slaughter nameless trash. Zhu Minglang scoffs back, this nameless junior only has one warning for you. Get lost now, before my sword decides to paint the ground red. He laughs arrogantly, a pathetic brat like you, mastering a tiny bit of dragon energy, actually thinks he can flex in front of me. Hongtu roars, invoking his inner demon as his clothes rip apart to expose giant, pulsing muscles. He grins, a pretty pale boy like you will make an excellent snack for my wine. Zhu Minglang jeers seriously. Where on earth did you summon such a cute little cow from? If I slap a nose ring on you, would you mind plowing the fields for us right now? He screams in rage, shut your mouth. This is the mighty bull Immortal Lord. Surrender peacefully or prepare to die. Zhu Minglang merely smiles, calmly weaving a hand seal with his fingers. As black and red flame wraps around his wrist, he triggers his secret art to seize the upper hand. Roaring rise, Eastern Sword. Hongtu crosses his arms as violent purple flames erupt, gathering energy to construct a massive defensive barrier. He laughs, my body is completely overflowing with demonic aura. So let's see you try and break this. Zhu Minglang's cold smirk only widens. Crossing his arms as purple demonic flames flare up, Hongtu snorts, is that so? Using his body as a shield to block the red flying swords cutting through the sky. Shock flashes in his eyes, but his arrogant aura remains totally unshaken. He wonders how this kid could break his demonic shield so easily. The two figures slide backward across the wooden floor, leaving a trail of fiery explosions and glowing runes in their wake. Inside the thick swirling mist, Hongtu summons dark beasts and shadowy phantom claws to form a defensive wall around himself. A blinding streak of purple sword energy arches across the mountains like a glowing rainbow. Still alive, Zhu Minglang says. The Wanma sect protector actually has some skill. An old voice echoes back, explaining that the Demon Lord's defense and vitality are easily at the king tier. Startled, Zhu Minglang asks who he is. and the old man reveals that he is actually Zheng Mei's master. He explains he lives in seclusion on Kangyi Mountain, making Zhu Minglang nod as he finally understands everything. Pointing his fingers, Zhu Minglang sneers, "King Tier, let us see you handle a few more strikes," as Moshier roars with raging fire. Look at this spectacular strike. The sword plunges down like a roaring dragon, making Hongtu pale and sweat as pure killing intent slices the very sky apart. Terrified, Hongtu mutters that he needs to run, wondering what monster he is facing. But as he spins around to flee, cold sweat drips down when he suddenly confronts Heya. Casting a spell to seal any escape, Zhu Minglang yells out, "Firefly sword style, coiling dragon," unleashing an explosive roar of pure energy. Blazing red sword energy sweeps in a violent arc, tearing through the air and completely consuming everything in sight. The watching disciples gasp in shock, realizing Zhu Minglang's strength is absolutely terrifying, proving he was just being way too humble this entire time. Yu Ying and Qi Ling both turn back to watch, shocked that this guy is actually harboring such monstrous power. Only he can break this deadlock. Meanwhile, amidst a sea of purple flames, the disciples stack hand seals on each other's backs, channeling their energy to unleash a powerful joint barrier technique. Zhu Minglang is suddenly startled to hear her voice echoing nearby. They are channeling a joint Huanma summoning, which allows even low-tier summoners to call forth massive monsters by combining the spiritual energy of the entire group. The ground violently shakes and cracks open into deep crevices as ominous streaks of purple demonic energy seep out. A massive spiked dragon centipede rises from the chasm, spraying deadly venom, its armored body wrapped in purple miasma as its terrifying roar rips through the smoke. Zhu Minglang warns that this blood dragon centipede is just as strong as a true dragon lord, and it can burrow underground when threatened, making it a nightmare to fight. Kang Yi calls out to him, asking if the young man has a plan, since his flying swords cannot easily hit these burrowing demon beasts underground. Zhu Minglang admits it is a bit tricky, but he can manage. The old master then speaks up, noting that Zhu Minglang has only recently picked up sword control arts. "You have not mastered many styles yet, so let this old man teach you a move." He promises that with Zhu Minglang's sword talent, killing these centipedes will be as easy as crushing worms. But you know our boy, he's highly skeptical of this sudden lesson. Asking if he is serious, Zhu Minglang bows politely and requests the lesson, though his mind is screaming that this is the worst possible time for a last-minute tutorial. Lin Zhong panics and calls out, "Grandmaster, the situation is way too critical for a lesson right now." He begs the old man to just wipe out the monsters himself, but Kang Yi simply raises a hand to silence him. The old master sighs that time is short, and he is no longer the invincible warrior he once was. Looking at Zhu Minglang, Kang Yi admits his own sword energy cannot compare to even a fraction of this youth's, prompting Zhu Minglang to urge him to start without any further delay. Agreeing, Kang Yi points to a wooden pillar nearby, explaining that this legendary technique is called the Suppressing Sword, designed to seal away all manners of evil. He adds that it is also known as the White Tomb Sword, drawing a strike as deep as a massive grave. With a deep voice, Kang Yi instructs him to gather energy into the blade, let his mind sink deep, and form a massive divine tomb. A colossal block of brilliant blue sword intent crashes down from the sky like a collapsing mountain, fracturing the earth and blasting debris everywhere, before the old master suddenly turns to ask if he understands. Zhu Minglang and the disciples stand frozen like statues with blank stares, while Ming Xiu, wide-eyed and confused, wonders how anyone could possibly understand that. From drawing the blade to striking, there was absolutely no clear form or movement to copy or learn from. While Zhu Minglang remains completely silent in deep thought, Kang Yi lets out a heavy sigh and mutters that time is running out, offering to demonstrate the move one more time. Waving his hand, Zhu Minglang tells him it is not necessary, explaining he was just processing some thoughts and has already mastered the technique. Lin Zhong drops his jaw in pure disbelief, thinking that while he hasn't even grasped the basics, Zhu Minglang has already mastered it, proving he is a true genius. Impressed, the old man tells him to use it to seal the mountains, and Zhu Minglang immediately unleashes his seals, chanting the words to focus his energy deep into the earth. Demonic runes erupt from the red and black crevices, sending a gale of pure killing intent howling like the gates of hell opening up. The old master is absolutely stunned that the youth could summon such a massive sword shadow. Heavy boulders crash down, sparking violently as the formation reaches its absolute limit. Lin Zhong gasps in amazement, noting that this strike is actually more powerful than what the Grandmaster just showed them. Kang Yi warns them that it is not over yet. Wild beasts rise from the dust, thrashing their tentacles and roaring with glowing red eyes as they seek to devour everything. Blazing red swords rain down from the sky like a meteor shower, piercing the earth and unleashing a blinding explosion of spiritual energy. A storm of swords pins them down as they writhe helplessly in a sea of demonic flames. The screeches die out instantly as one wounded cultist coughs up blood and gasps. How is this possible? He killed every single demon beast alone. Zhu Minglang speaks up. "Old master, I felt a single grave wouldn't be enough, so I built them one massive, epic burial ground instead. Your sword art is incredible. I really like it. Thanks for passing it down. Kang Yi smiles, pleased and noting how the new generation is truly formidable. This is a style I created myself, yet you actually improved it on your very first attempt, and even unleash a much higher spiritual realm. The boy humbly replies, it is all thanks to your meticulous guidance, since without your master-level teaching, how could anyone learn it at first glance? Zhu Minglang thinks to himself, only you could actually pull that off, you know. His eyes widen as he senses danger. On the stone bridge leading to the palace gates, a massive array erupts, forming a giant vortex of purple demon flames like a gaping abyss. The impact shakes the very air, sending rings of violent shockwaves blasting outward in every direction. Du Ying gasps. That is the demon lord Lu Jiang. You have to be extremely careful. Zhu Minglang smirks. Not bad for the leader of this cult. He definitely has some real power. He points ahead and asks, what kind of demon beast is that? She quickly warns him, that is not a demon beast. It is an immortal ghost. Feeling the eerie aura pressing closer, the young man tilts his head and frowns, as the freezing wind whips his hair and robes, his eyes flashing with a sharp, razor-thin look of absolute vigilance. Zhu Minglang gasps. An immortal ghost. Drops of purple demon fire splatter onto the stone floor, sizzling and corroding the ground like boiling acid. Emitting a bone-chilling frost that cracks the stone, Du Ying screams, it is right beneath our feet. Zhu Minglang instantly channels his energy, sweeping a massive array as he summons the legendary Tiansha dragon. The summoned beast dives down like a lightning bolt, its fiery body wrapped in thick, swirling demonic energy. Zhu Minglang swats away the smoke, spots his target, and barks out an order to attack. Channeling raw spiritual energy, Tiansha's purple scales glow as it dives down for the kill. A devastating tail sweep slams down, shattering the ground and sending rock splinters flying through the forest. The dragon's tail strikes with absolute precision, blooming like a crimson fire flower to seal the enemy's weak spot. Massive stone claws cloaked in purple fire tear through the earth as the gargantuan earth immortal ghost suddenly rises up. Its massive, towering body shakes the entire forest. Zhu Minglang realizes this earth-grade entity is somehow even stronger than the river and temple ghosts he fought before. The disciples gasp out, look at the size of that arm! That is the very arm that clashed with Master Zhang Mei, and just one limb is already this terrifyingly powerful. Lu Hong stands casually on the beast's shoulder as purple flames coat his arm, sneering that before a true earth god, they are all just worthless beasts waiting to be sacrificed. Zhu Minglang glares down at him and spits back. You look just like a pathetic maggot wriggling inside a jar. Absolutely disgusting. Lu Hong laughs arrogantly, calling him a mere mortal. Zhu Minglang's expression turns ice cold as he delivers a highly dismissive reply. Gripping the Mo Shi sword as fire wraps his hand, Zhu Minglang calmly asks, have you ever seen a mere mortal slaughter demons and execute ghosts? Zhu Minglang frowns, coldly shouting to kill as absolute murder fills the air. He charges forward, leaping high to deliver a devastating vertical slash. He spins, unleashing a continuous flurry of strikes with Mo Shi. Each lightning-fast blow connects, triggering a series of blinding golden explosions. Commanding Mo Shi to lash out like a whip, he leaps high into the sky, driving a massive wave of red and black energy right through the beast's arm. The giant arm completely shatters, erupting into a thick cloud of smoke and debris. Kang Yi watches in absolute shock, noting that with a battle sword like that, his direct sword realm is insanely high. Seriously, think about it, his flying swords were just a side hobby, and he still has a whole dragon? What is this kid? Thick purple energy surges through its body, instantly sealing up every single crack and restoring it completely. Lu Hong mocks him, calling it useless since the ghost possesses an immortal body. The beast roars, swinging its massive left arm to force Zhu Minglang back toward the cliff. Below them, Lin Zhong is desperately trying to climb up. Zhu Minglang raises his sword, summoning his Tiansha dragon to dive down in a burst of red flames and pin the beast. Lin Zhong sighs with massive relief, realizing he is finally saved. Zhu Minglang clasps his hands, summoning the desolate earth sword as dark, crimson killing intent wraps around him. He spins his wrist, grips the hilt tightly, and thrusts forward, unleashing a massive wave of energy that rips through the ground in a series of fiery red trenches. Lu Hong panics, screaming to ask what on earth that is. Zhu Minglang calmly replies, call it whatever you want, but this is my special gift to you. Erecting a massive red and black energy barrier to trap the ghost, he slashes down, splitting the earth in a chaotic zigzag pattern. The impact of his sword style blasts the massive beast high into the sky before it clenches its fists and plunges back down. Unleashing his sword spirit, a monstrous aura erupts around him. Mosier ignites in black and red flames, piercing straight through the solid rock as devastating shockwaves rattle the entire canyon. Lu Hong desperately claws his way out of the heavy stone debris, with cold sweat pouring down his temples. He growls in frustration as Zhu Minglang strides calmly through the rubble, forming a hand seal to unleash his final sword spirit strike. He scoffed, this earth devil is only capable of so much. Suddenly, a loud laugh echoes from behind him. Mocking his ignorance, it makes Zhu Minglang pause with a hint of worry as the voice continues with utter disdain. What if your swordplay is precise? The voice sneers the earth. Devil's power comes from the Kangmang Great Hall. Zhu Minglang turns around, completely baffled, thinking no way. How is it not dead yet? Green flames ooze around the rocks as life force condenses into burning embers. Pillars of green fire launch the stone cores high into the sky, dragging crackling, trailing light behind them. The green torrent of fire shoots into the statue, boring through every crack with a blinding glow. Zhu Minglang silently notes that this is an incredibly rare ancient city demon. Wait, this is bad if it gets triggered. Won't it transform into a dragon right on the spot? He needs to find a way to end this fast. Nuwa Dragon closes her eyes, raising the golden sigil on her forehead as holy light surges to invoke a sacred chant. Zhu Minglang turns to look at her, hesitantly asking what she is doing. Nuwa Dragon replies by offering the earth spirits back to all creation. The earth devil can no longer absorb its power. Zhu Minglang realizes that without it, the monster will not be able to regenerate. Her golden sacred tune winds up, completely covering the blue sky. Shocked, Lu Hong demands to know where that sound is coming from. He yells out, "Kid, what kind of trick are you trying to play?" Now here comes the turn. Zhu Minglang crosses his arms, calmly saying he will show them real earth power, as glowing green cores rip the beast apart. Terrified, Lu Hong widens his eyes and gasps, "What is happening?" Zhu Minglang declares in the future, "Before any of you fake deities boast about being gods, you must get permission from me, Zhu Minglang, first." The fire dragon emerges behind him as his inner power erupts like a descending dragon god. He yells, "If I say you are a maggot, you can never be a dragon." His figure flashes forward like lightning, his sword aura tearing through the air. Echoes reverberate through the sky, leaving a massive crack on the ground as a fiery red light covers the area. Mo Xie blazes with light and charges directly at Lu Hong. Zhu Minglang continues to execute his sword stance, shouting out, "Take this sword-shattering attack." Heaven and earth freeze for a split second. Mo Xie transforms into a massive heavenly dragon and lunges at the earth devil, blazing like wild waves as her fierce energy penetrates its body, burning its core to the very bone. Carrying the force of the universe, it slams into the earth devil's chest, shattering its central core and scattering red fire like a rain of sparks. The giant beast gets sent flying, rolling across the dirt. It leaves long scorch marks like a fallen meteor, shaking the ground and incinerating everything. Hit hard by the shockwave, Lu Hong coughs up blood with a low groan. Exhausted, Lu Hong wheezes, "My blood and bones are fused as one with the earth devil." Lu Hong screams that he cannot die, his body is immortal. Zhu Minglang remains dead silent, staring at him intensely as if calculating his next move. After taking the ultimate strike, the earth devil completely shatters, its massive body crumbling into piles of broken rocks scattered across the grass. In utter horror, Lu Hong screams out, "Why is it not regenerating?" Suddenly, the beast's body glows, with eerie green spiritual chains wrapping tightly around its limbs. The deep crater in its chest still bears the battle damage, but the aura it radiates now has completely shifted, becoming tenfold more powerful and sinister than before. Lu Hong panics, screaming at the top of his lungs, "Earth Devil, you are the land god. Heal me right now." Suddenly, the giant beast raises its massive hand, its colossal frame completely blotting out the sky. Swirling torrents of pale spiritual energy wrap around it, creating a terrifying pressure. Lu Hong scowls, roaring in anger, "You useless piece of trash." Instead of attacking the enemy, the Earth Devil suddenly turns toward Lu Hong and reaches out with its massive hand. Lu Hong grits his teeth, his eyes filled with pure fury and terror as the giant hand looms right in front of him. He stammers, "What are you doing?" You won't believe what happens next before he can even finish. A devastating palm strike slams down, sending fresh blood spraying into the air like blooming flowers. Zhu Minglang laughs triumphantly. Without the earth spirit energy, it is just a minor imp. Turning to Lu Hong, his voice grows cold, "And as for you, you are nothing but raw, dirty meat." Under the blue sky, Zhu Minglang stands quietly amidst the battlefield, his silver-white silhouette contrasting with the sea of blue flames. He radiates a proud aura like a descending deity, as a strange orb of light floats silently in the air. Blue flames swirl around it with their own life, containing a power that makes heaven and earth tremble in fear. Holding it in his hand, he thinks this soul pearl actually contains a trace of divine providence. It even feels like warm jade. Could it be due to the earth spirit's power? Casting a sharp, cold gaze forward, Zhu Minglang looks at the disciples and calls out, "Your leader is dead, so stop standing there like idiots. Scatter now." The terrified disciples remain completely silent. Outside the sect entrance, a crimson gate stands firmly closed halfway up the mountain, a classic sign of an ancient great sect. Walking back toward the others, Zhu Minglang calmly announces the members of the Huanma cult have already retreated on their own. Yu Ying stares at him in sheer disbelief, thinking to herself, did he seriously just slay the Earth Devil that easily? He is obviously incredibly strong, so why does he always act like a coward trying to avoid trouble? She is convinced that Zhu Minglang is definitely a traveling sword immortal. Zhu Minglang looks at Chang Yi and says, "Respected master, I suspect the Huanma cult might still plan to launch a counterattack." He speaks in a sweet, persuasive tone. "Why don't you teach me a few more flying sword techniques, and I will scare them all away?" Thuong Duke frowns, thinking this kid just wants to trick him into teaching more swordplay. Stroking his beard, he grudgingly says he will only show it once. Zhu Minglang speaks up, "Show me a few more moves. My memory is terrible and missing even one detail will ruin everything." Trin Mi anxiously runs over, asking if everyone is all right and where the cultists are, but he simply replies they have been driven back. She speaks up, "How can mere disciples like this stop the cultists? Though their master is here, his age is getting pretty advanced." Mintu speaks up, saying Senior Truk of the Jiao San sword sect repelled them. Trin Mi turns to him, shocked that he did it all alone. She respectfully bows, reporting to her master that it is indeed true. She and her disciples bow, promising that if Jiao San sword sect faces danger, their Bok Thuong sword sect will definitely help out. They will support them with all their strength. Outside the Bok Thuong sword sect villa, everyone gathers to send Zhu Minglang off, telling Senior Truk to come back and visit whenever he has time. He laughs in just one trip out. He did not just learn swordplay, but also picked up a pretty high-class maid. Totally worth it. Duan snaps back, demanding to know who his maid is and to give Nguyen back. Zhu Minglang hands her a coat, asking if she needs him to dress her too. Duan angrily scolds him, but he just turns to her and seriously asks what she plans to do next, now that the evil Huanma cult is completely finished. Duan says she will rebuild the Huanma cult, then asks what he will do. Zhu Minglang says he has to go home since his wife is still waiting for his return. Thinking about his wife, Duan respectfully bids him farewell, saying they should part here. Meanwhile, riding on his flying mount, Zhu Minglang wonders what exactly lies in the ancient ruins of Lichuan, and what exactly is this visitor from beyond that Truk Tuyet Lang mentioned, and what is his wife so worried about? As the endless mountains fade behind with every wing beat, he looks down, amazed to see so many people gathered. Thantrak flies over the forest, leaving a silk-like trail of light, and casting a heavy, tense atmosphere down onto the ground below. Look at that, 3 mysterious figures suddenly appear with cold, completely calm expressions. Zhu Minglang asks a cultivator if this is some golden tree immortal mountain, but the man calls him foolish, pointing out the gate right in front of him. Confused, he repeats the word gate, and the man confirms it is a celestial portal filled with sacred dragons, divine fruits, and spiritual veins everywhere. Zhu Minglang asks if he has actually gone inside to check it out himself. He admits he has not, but since the Lichuan continent is a fallen heavenly land, having divine wonders is completely normal. Zhu Minglang murmurs that Lichuan is indeed unusual, and even the High Imperial Dynasty might have noticed it by now. Back at the courtyard in Dragon City, Zhu Minglang stretches his arms, finally home, while Suangni runs out in absolute joy, asking if it is really him. She cheers that he is finally back, and as he jumps down, he asks Suangni if Li Yunzi is home. Pointing inside, she says her lady has barely gone out lately, spending her time deep in thought, and offers to lead him to her room. Zhu Minglang agrees, secretly wondering if it will be Li Yunzi or Tin Hoa, noting he must recognize her before she even speaks. At Li Yunzi's room, Suangni calls out that the master has arrived. Li Yunzi sits inside, looking incredibly pensive as if weighing something heavy. She stares blankly with sorrowful eyes, clearly burdened with deep concerns. He happily realizes those eyes are definitely Li Yunzi's. Zhu Minglang calls out that he is home, stepping closer to ask for a warm hug because he missed her. Li Yunzi slaps him playfully, asking if he was not supposed to be captured and taken to the Raven State. Zhu Minglang reacts with outrage, asking what absolute idiot told her that, as they are clearly trying to drive a wedge between them. She tells him not to worry, since even if he were captured, Li Chuan can easily slip into the Raven State to rescue him, leaving him digging his ear in disbelief. And check this out, Li Yunzi pinches his cheek, teasing that he probably forgot his way home. Zhu Minglang helplessly protests, asking how that is possible when his heart belongs entirely to his beloved wife. Rubbing his cheek, he admits he did not handle the on-land Phi situation well, promising to travel to the Raven State, soon to clear things up. He promises never to let his wife feel slighted, but she coldly interrupts that the woman is already in Lichuan, shocking him completely. As he gasps, Suangni angrily chimes in, complaining that this on-land Phi woman is going way too far. She literally came to challenge them, threatening that if her mistress keeps seeing him, the Raven State Sword Army will completely flatten Lichuan. He sighs, wondering if Onlan Fi's brain is completely fried, while Li Yunzi calmly pours tea. She says she will accept the challenge, so he doesn't need to worry, wanting him and Nan Lingsha to handle the Dragon Gate instead. As she continues to pour, Zhu Minglang asks if the immortal gate that people say has appeared in Lichuan is actually this dragon gate. Taking a sip of tea, Li Yunzi explains that every living creature in this world has its own dragon gate to transform into a dragon. Continents have their own gates too, and if crossed, the sun, moon, and stars, and countless living beings will undergo a complete transformation, meaning that passing through the dragon gate will upgrade the entire world. Setting her teacup down, she nods. Minglang immediately asks, how do we even get there? Yunzi lowers her head and admits that the dragon gate contains unimaginable power, adding that it directly suppresses her spiritual energy. She turns to him and asks, is it possible that creatures like us are just fireflies who have never witnessed true glory? He steps forward. Tightly grabbing her hand, he whispers her name, Yunzi. Minglang gently reassures her, do not worry, no matter what happens, I will always stand right by your side. Looking at his spirit beasts, Minglang silently promises himself that he is no longer his weak past self. Whether it is the Dragon Gate or a heavenly tribulation, he will conquer it all. Yunzi Softy reminds him to manage his reputation back in Lichuan first. Confused, Minglang asks what is wrong with his reputation. She smirks and labels him a man who cannot get it up. Minglang snaps in frustration. Being called a freeloader is one thing, but what is this joke? Shuang'er snaps. Our lady was bullied, and you did not even show up. Wait till you hear this rumor, they are literally calling him impotent. Furious, Minglang slams his hand down, demanding to know who dared bully her. Shuang'er answers for her, is it not those massive giant soldiers who showed up at Gaoji Ridge? Our lady led her army to block their invasion and nearly lost her life. Minglang anxiously asks if this really happened. Are you hurt, Yunzi? Quickly, let me check. She sadly answers that she is unhurt, but the commander of the Flying Dragon Camp sacrificed his life to save her. Minglang falls silent, blaming himself for not returning sooner to prevent this tragedy. Yunzi points out that dwelling on the past is useless now, but there are still several dangerous areas they must watch. Where else? He asks. Shocked, she quietly begins to explain. Not far from Wutu lies a shrouded misty island where people discovered a strange civilization called the Divine Bird Folk. These savage beasts control giant bird flocks, preying on Wutu's local mining towns. Holding her teacup, Yunzi continues there is also an ancient mountain ruled by monster tribes, rumored to grow a 1,000-year spiritual flower. The imperial court wants me to send troops to attack. Minglang stares at her, asking if she is going completely alone. This is a joint purge. The Jiaoshan sword sect and several newly displaced factions will join me in the crusade. I will go. I am marching to the battlefield right beside my wife. This time, I will definitely clear up all the citizens' rumors about me. Shuang'er cheers him on with a bright smile. Yunzi tells him to ignore the whispers, but he insists on saving his face. Yunzi smiles and agrees very well. Then for this assault on Gaoji Ridge, we will fight side by side. He steps forward to hug her, saying, all right, I will feed the dragons first and return tonight. Later that evening in Li Yunzi's room, Minglang calls out softly, wife, I am back. Xinghua suddenly turns around, calling him young master. Minglang freezes, realizing only she ever uses that title. He clears his throat to greet her. Welcome back, young master, she whispers. What is going on? And check this out, she is suddenly Xinghua, acting super close. A very confused Minglang replies that he just got back. Shuang'er asks if he is staying over, saying they cannot possibly let him sleep outside after just returning home. Xinghua tells him Yunzi probably will not wake up tonight. I am terribly sorry, young master, for taking over so suddenly. Minglang quickly reassures her it is fine since he only came to visit, realizing Shuang'er totally misunderstood his intentions about staying overnight. It is me, she sighs sadly. I am the problem. I was supposed to be dead, existing only as a soul attached to Yunzi. Before, my brief moments awake did not get in your way. Xinghua explains that now her waking hours are growing longer, and neither she nor Yunzi can control it. Hearing this, Shuang'er prepares to leave. Shuang'er notes that there is only one blanket set available since the rest are still drying, then quickly excuses herself to let them rest. Both of them blush with deep embarrassment. Minglang stands there completely speechless as the night deepens and the entire household falls silent. Sharing a bed is pure awkwardness. Xinghua whispers his name. He responds. Softly, she gently says, I know you are not a weak man. Bolting upright, Minglang asks why she is suddenly bringing this up now. Xinghua fondly recalls that fateful night in the dungeon, making him clear his throat in sheer embarrassment. Minglang mentally notes that he never expected his brave display that night to leave such a lasting impression on Lady Xinghua. Feeling awkward, he sits up and suggests that since it is quite late, she should sleep while he takes the floor. Facing away, she softly replies, the night is freezing, so the young master should stay on the bed with Xinghua. Deeply embarrassed, Minglang reluctantly agrees to her request. Fine. Under the quiet moonlight, two birds perch close together on a high branch, sharing a silent, unspoken bond of deep affection. Xinghua holds him tightly as she falls asleep, leaving Minglang completely awake and lost in thought. Time flies. The next morning, Zhu Minglang stretches in the early sun, ready for a new day full of energy. Suddenly, a voice calls out Zhu Minglang. Turning around in surprise, he waits as Nianian approaches, pouting and saying that if he did not come back soon, she would have died of boredom. Zhu Minglang teases her, saying he actually expected her to say she missed him to death. Opening a box, she shoots back that of course she missed someone. She missed Daheya. Nianian explains she bought some ancient dragon nectar from a small shop and tells him to call Daheya out. He immediately summons his partner, calling out for Daheya to come get some treats. The dragon asks where it is, but though she holds her gift ready, her confused gaze cannot find any familiar trace of the black dragon she knows. Nianian snaps angrily, "You bad guy. Even if Daheya does not have a high bloodline, he is not this ridiculous. How dare you try to trick me with some random black dragon?" She screams again, calling him a jerk and declaring she is quitting as his housekeeper, ending their friendship right here. Zhu Minglang frantically explains it is a misunderstanding, as this is actually Daheya after molting. Nianian gasps, "Is that really him?" The dragon speaks up, confirming it is indeed him, and he has grown much stronger and more majestic. She walks over to pet him, and Zhu Minglang adds that it is not just Daheya, as Qingzhuo has also changed completely. Nianian asks if they changed like this because they were affected by the Longmen realm. Zhu Minglang says that is not the case, but wonders if the Longmen realm can actually affect a dragon's bloodline. She replies that of course it can, explaining she ate a peach from the Longmen realm and refined a spiritual elixir the next day. He is amazed, asking if that is even possible. Nianian happily says she can now be considered someone who possesses a spiritual elixir. If he wants to buy a taolong, he has to pay up front. Zhu Minglang laughs with a taolong. They will never have to worry about food anymore. That is perfect. From now on, she is not just a housekeeper managing dragon feed, but the official chef of their household. Hugging him tightly, she cheers that it is wonderful because she finally has a dragon of her own. Zhu Minglang says he has to set out on an expedition soon, asking his chef to look after little Yingling and Xiao Shijiao. Nianian happily replies that they are so cute and tells him to rest assured because she will feed them until they are nice and plump. The dragon thinks to itself, what on earth does she mean by plump? He continues, warning her that little Yingling can absorb spiritual energy, so she must watch it closely, or it might accidentally drain all the nearby spiritual veins. She gasps, is it really that terrifying? Don't worry, she will keep a very close eye on it. Nianian asks if he has told Sister Lingsha and the others about his return, advising him not to just care about the female commander, but to treat everyone fairly. Zhu Minglang defends himself, telling her not to talk nonsense as their relationships are completely innocent. She remarks that it is normal for men to have multiple wives anyway, but he cuts her off, suggesting they just forget about buying the taolong. Nianian quickly apologizes, admitting her mistake to Zhu Minglang. He smiles triumphantly, saying as long as she knows, and decides to go meet them now. She mentions they do not like living in Nan City, so he should check the academy's bamboo grove. He nods, saying he understands. Nianian mutters to herself, complaining that he claims to be innocent, yet he rushes off to find them in a heartbeat. Arriving at the bamboo grove, Zhu Minglang calls out to Lady Lingsha as he walks in, then stops to silently watch her work. Zhu Minglang asks if she is painting him, and she simply replies with a quiet yes. As she paints, Lingsha explains she can draw Li Yunzi holding a sword, and with just one stroke of her spirit brush, bring her to life to slay enemies, but she simply cannot paint him. She looks at the painting, and wonders aloud if she did something wrong with the brush strokes. He laughs, telling Lady Lingsha that if she wants him to slay her enemies, she just needs to say the word instead of going through all this trouble. She replies that he is not as obedient as her drawing. Caught in this awkward moment, Zhu Minglang can only offer a forced smile, completely at a loss for words. And just like that, everything changes. A wave of killing intent surges, making his expression go cold. His eyes turn as sharp as swords, sensing the deadly intent. He notices a light breeze, yet the bamboo stalks around them remain perfectly still. He asks if they are currently inside her painting, realizing with a frown why Lady Lingsha mentioned slaying enemies, as the foes are already right before them. However, these assassins think they are incredibly good at hiding. Little do they know, they have already been drawn into her massive canvas. Zhu Minglang wonders aloud who these fools are, and how they dare to target her. Lingsha calmly replies that back at the foot of Beiju Mountain, she took their cultivation fruits away from them. He realizes she was actually the one who started the trouble. But then he corrects himself, knowing they are on the same side, so he should not be pointing out her flaws. Zhu Minglang speaks up, arguing that since all of Lichuan belongs to the Nan family of Li, it cannot possibly be considered stealing. They are the real thieves here. The hostile group spits back, demanding to know where this brat suddenly came from. First they steal our stuff, and now they talk back like this seriously. They have no shame at all. The two of them step outside to confront the group, and Zhu Minglang speaks up, calling out the niche temple. Furious, he yells out that if they already know who they are, they should hand over the cultivation fruit before they slaughter every single person standing here. Zhu Minglang challenges them to just try it, but the leader snaps back, cut the crap, and tell that woman to hand over the fruit while he still has patience. Watch as Zhu Minglang coldly growls they are begging to die. He raises his hand to gather energy, unleashing a surge of burning heat that feels like lightning fire erupting from deep underground. The man spins and unleashes a palm strike, tearing through the air with heavy killing intent, as he mockingly laughs at Zhu Minglang's pathetic power. His sidekick watches in horror, screaming at his boss about his hand, while the leader clutches his bloody arm, wailing in absolute agony. Zhu Minglang glares with icy eyes as his blade flashes brilliantly through the thick mist, cutting down the enemies before they can even react in this freezing bamboo forest. He tells them to be decent people next time, as fresh blood drips slowly onto the cold bamboo trunks. Zhu Minglang pulls back his hand and closes his eyes as if he never even moved, before calmly asking Nan Lingsha what that cultivation fruit actually is anyway. Is it that important? She explains that it can help God-favored ones and dragons break through, or even stabilize their king-class cultivation levels. Shocked, he asks if she has already broken through to the king-class tier. Nan Lingsha explains they did not break through, as reaching the next tier happens naturally once enough energy is accumulated over time. Zhu Minglang silently begs her not to discourage him, then asks if she knows that the Dragon Gate world has finally appeared. She summons a purple spiritual energy and calmly nods, mentioning that Li Yunzi told her a bit about it before drawing a magic array. As glowing purple light surges to open a cosmic vortex in front of them, she asks if he ever considered it. What happens if they fail this planetary trial known as the Dragon Gate? To which Zhu Minglang grimly answers that their entire world would end up completely wiped out. She adds that if they fail, all spiritual veins in their world will completely dry up, leaving behind a barren wasteland, causing Zhu Minglang to realize in horror that everyone, including the Dragon Masters, would slaughter each other just to survive. Nan Lingsha points out that even if they succeed, they will still fight each other for better resources. That dark future is completely inevitable, prompting Zhu Minglang to ask her for some pointers and advice. Since she clearly knows some valuable secrets about this mysterious Dragon Gate, she reveals that in reality, you heard that right, a drunken moonwave from the Dragon Gate will alter the continent, leaving him utterly shocked. As she explains the drunken moonwave, she says that each wave transforms all living things, though the very first wave only caused the surrounding forest to grow rapidly. She continues, explaining that this current wave is actually the second drunken moonwave. It makes the spiritual energy of heaven and earth superabundant, filling even the rain, while the third wave will arrive around midnight tomorrow. Nan Lingsha adds that certain spiritual plants will instantly condense thousands of years of drunken moon essence because of it. She warns him that countless powerful factions are already guarding these rare spiritual plants, waiting quite impatiently for this third massive wave to finally sweep across the land. Zhu Minglang asks what Nan Lingsha plans to do about this situation. She replies that she has her eyes on a 10,000-year-old parasol tree that bears cultivation fruits, but the Chu family has already seized it. Hearing this, he quickly suggests they steal it, or rather, defend what belongs to them, which prompts Nan Lingsha to ask how they will split the loot. Zhu Minglang agrees, saying that is totally fine, before suggesting they should split up and operate on multiple fronts. He currently has many dragons and wants to protect as many of the super spiritual domains affected by the Dragon Gate as possible. She mentions a rich jade spirit pool hidden right within this rainy area. It holds a pretty large amount of spiritual energy and is only guarded by a small sect with no king-class masters, while the nearby icy crystal lake suddenly begins to glow. Zhu Minglang agrees, suggesting they leave this specific area to Thon track. He adds that there is no time to lose, so they should go check out the Dragon Gate first. Meanwhile, in a pretty peaceful mountain forest under the brilliant night sky, Zhu Minglang looks up in complete wonder, asking if this is really the legendary Dragon Gate. It is absolutely gorgeous. Before he suddenly asks if the third wave is about to sweep through the area, Nan Lingsha nods quite seriously as the wave expands, warning him that if this keeps up, the entire Jiuding continent will eventually be affected by its massive power. While Zhu Minglang bends down to inspect a flower garden, a brilliant light suddenly shoots up from the far side of the mountain. He gasps in awe, saying it looks just like paradise. Nan Lingsha quickly reminds him that the cultivation fruit must be ripe, urging him to go check it out, to which he readily agrees. Deep inside a sunlit forest, a large crowd of cultivators has already gathered under the trees, waiting for the event to unfold. Chao Hian and Min Kuai watch from above, the young master raising a brow in pretty deep suspicion. Min Kuai silently thinks to himself, is this really the lower world? Just standing here feels like it completely dirties my feet. Chao Hian speaks up, my lord. The cultivation fruit has mutated. Once bathed, we can harvest it at the first dawn light. Min Kui casually waves his hand. Chao Hian, I will take 2 fruits and give one to you. Any objections? Chao Hian forced smiles, actually. All 3 of these fruits should go directly to you, my lord. After all, we only made it here thanks to your guidance. Meanwhile, the cultivation fruits in front of them hang ripe and golden. Min Kuai laughs loudly and says, "All right, let me grab them." But right as he reaches for the branch, a figure suddenly rushes from behind and snatches them away. Talk about a complete shock. Min Kuai screams in disbelief as a masked Zhu Minglang takes off. He playfully jokes, "Thanks for keeping these safe for me. I will buy you guys dinner sometime." Zhu Minglang's words make Min Kuai absolutely furious. "Damn it, how dare a lowly lower world peasant like you defy a noble master like me? Chao Hian, kill him right now." Hearing the order, Chao Hian immediately waves his hand, yelling to attack. "Iron crossbow army, fire." The moment he speaks, countless iron crossbows suddenly appear floating all over the sky. Zhu Minglang murmurs in surprise, "Do you really think these tiny iron crossbows can actually hurt this young master? If a few toys could stop me, would my sword training not be completely useless?" With that thought, Zhu Minglang raises his hand to cast his flame dragon shield, instantly wrapping his body in blazing red sparks. Chao Hian panics and shouts, "My lord, these iron crossbows cannot even scratch him." Meanwhile, Min Kuai grinds his teeth in sheer rage, clenching his sharp claws tight. Min Kuai frantically charges straight at him, "Take this, you worthless peasant." But Zhu Minglang simply shifts his body with ease, instantly causing the arrogant young lord to crash face first onto the ground. He clears his throat and mockingly laughs, "What was that? I honestly thought you were some kind of legendary master." Min Kui furiously turns around to glare at Chao Hian. "Are your guards just a bunch of useless lazy bums? How can they not even handle a single low-life bastard?" Hearing this insult, Zhu Minglang's face instantly darkens with anger. He growls out, "Bastard, did your parents never teach you to speak like a human?" With that, Zhu Minglang slaps his mouth hard. At that moment, the jade amulet around Min Kuai's neck suddenly glows. Holding his stinging cheek, he screams out a threat. "You worthless trash, you actually dared to strike me. You are dead." Zhu Minglang just scoffs, noticing his defensive jade charm. His background is definitely impressive, but based on my years of merchant experience in Trukmon, this defensive charm will only activate when his actual life is in pretty grave danger. But seriously, these are just basic slaps. How could his life possibly be in danger? Zhu Minglang grabs him. "What if I slap you?" Min Kuai cursed back, "You lower world dog." But before he can even finish, another slap sends his face spinning all the way to the side. He strictly lectures him, calling me trash and a dog. "What makes you so special? Acting all tough, now let me ask. Does that hurt?" Tears well up in Min Kui's eyes as he stammers, utterly speechless. Right then, Chao Hian quickly shouts from afar, "The Lord has a protective charm. Do not worry, charge together." Hearing this, Zhu Minglang scoffs and shoves Min Kuai away, making him scream miserably, "Down you go, my lord." A panicked Chao Hian quickly turns back to order Elder Than, "Take a squad to rescue the lord first. The rest, follow me to kill this trash." Then, he immediately summons his fearsome purple-black void dragon. Moments later, Chao Hian stands proudly on the dragon's back as it opens its massive jaws, charging at Zhu Minglang. Here comes the real test. A blazing fire, spear, and golden arrows suddenly rain down from the sky. Chao Hian roars, "Drop dead." But our hero calmly slashes Moshier forward, cleanly slicing right through their attacks. Suddenly, the dragon's eyes glow with a mysterious energy, wrapping Zhu Minglang in a thick, smoky mist that forces him to cover his eyes. Chao Hian smugly threatens, "Hand over that cultivation fruit if you want to live." Ignoring him, Zhu Minglang looks up to inspect another domain skill. His gaze shifts to Mo Shi, now cloaked in eerie black fire. "Go, Mo Shi." It shoots like a flaming arrow straight into the dragon's domain. The dragon frantically dodges the blow, sending Chao Hian tumbling down before he can react. Zhu Minglang sneers, "Run home and cry to your mom." "Kid!" Crawling out from the bushes, a panicked Chao Hian yells, "What are you all waiting for? Chase him, after him!" Riding their dragons on both sides, they quickly give chase, yelling for him to stop running. But right at that moment, a trembling spatial rift suddenly tears open on the cliffside. Without hesitating, Zhu Minglang dives straight inside. Chao Hian watches this in absolute shock. "What on earth is going on here?" Min Kui snaps, gripping his dragon leg in pure anger. "Where is he?" Chao Hian is sweating bullets as he explains they chased him here, but the air suddenly turned to ink water, and he vanished right after flying inside. Min Kui is practically shaking with rage. You can already tell he is about to blow his top. Suddenly, a creepy old man appears out of nowhere to report, saying he might have a way to make up for their losses. He introduces himself as Thu Darnyon, flashing a sinister grin as he suggests they team up and work together. Cut to the next day. Fluffy white clouds drift lazily across a clear blue sky, right inside the painting scroll. Meanwhile, Zhu Minglang happily looks at the cultivation fruit and speaks up. This cultivation fruit can help a god mortal break through to the king tier. "Can dragons eat it too?" he asks. Nan Lingsha glances at him and agrees, suggesting he should give it to Thon Trak instead, since its attributes are a perfect match. Zhu Minglang reminds her that Thantrak is still at Mist Basin. Go back first. I will collect items. His stubborn attitude makes Nan Lingsha sigh as she helplessly nods. A short while later, they arrive outside the clan's sacred forest. Thu Darnyan and his men confront her forces, and Nan Lingza quickly steps up to confront them. What is all this racket? She asks. Her subordinate nervously reports that the leader is finally back, and these people are trying to steal their sacred forest. Hearing this, Thu Darnan looks up to question her. So you are the chief of this southern city, he asks. Nan Lingsha barks back that the Great Dragon Alliance has strict territory laws, yet they still dare to trespass. As she speaks, her face suddenly turns incredibly dark. Do you all want to die here? She threatens. But Thu Darnyon does not even flinch, only sneering back with pure contempt. A tiny local clan like yours dares oppose us, he snarls. Know your place and get lost. Otherwise, this sacred forest will become your clan graveyard. Elder Trun Trungjia impatiently cuts him off, yelling that he will show them the power of the Great Chu clan. Calm down, Elder Chun, Thu Daonyan says smoothly. Just leave this girl to us. I guarantee she will not act arrogant anymore. He begins to mockingly tease her, saying she killed their people and their temple will settle this debt. Then, Thu Darnan greedily licks his lips and emphasizes his threat. But if you come over here and make me happy, maybe I will let it slide. But watch this. A sudden projectile flies straight at his forehead, drawing a stream of fresh red blood. His men behind him suffer the exact same fate, screaming in pain as they scatter in absolute chaos. Nan Lingsha smiles in satisfaction, then raises her hand to catch an arrow. She spins around to leave, coldly ordering them to take all their corpses and hang them right outside the Nan clan mansion. Her subordinate bows deeply. Meanwhile, in front of the Nan mansion gates, a neat sign is hung up, warning against trespassing in the sacred forest, while fresh blood from the enemies continuously drips onto the ground. Nan Lingsha's subordinate proudly shouts that this is the exact end waiting for anyone who dares covet their sacred forest. The crowd nearby breaks out in laughter, mocking the dead fools for bringing shame to their families. Another bystander nods in agreement, saying they clearly did not know who they were dealing with. Another person chimes in, mentioning that Nan Lingsha and the female general are actually identical twin sisters who look exactly the same. Is that really true? Another asks in shock. That means they are both breathtaking beauties. Meanwhile, Zhu Minglang cheerfully remarks that hanging corpses on the trees is a brilliant move by Nan Lingsha. Since nobody has claimed Elder Trun's body yet, he decides to use it to pay Cho Heen a little friendly visit. Nan Lingsha just sighs in exhaustion, letting him have his way as we cut to Chow Heen's home. Zhu Minglang stands tall right outside the main gates and announces himself, asking to meet the young master Chow Heen. Chow Heen politely clasps his hands and steps outside, greeting Zhu Minglang warmly and asking what wind brought him all this way. Watching his reaction, Zhu Minglang secretly notes how incredibly fast this guy's wounds have managed to heal. Guess I went too easy on him back then. Zhu Minglang then casually continues, explaining that their families are actually quite close. Surely the young master has heard about those bodies hanging around the city lately. In his opinion, the Great Chu clan is famous for its immense wealth, so they would never stoop to committing such shameless robbery. Zhu Minglang then gestures toward a sheet-covered corpse lying in the yard, emphasizing his words. I brought the corpse of Elder Tran all the way here to you, just so nobody mistakenly blames young Master Chow for this mess. Chow Hien suddenly frowns and speaks up. This is honestly no surprise, because back when Tran Hu was still with our family, he already colluded with evil sects. He always had a wicked heart, but I never expected him to dare raid the Nam residence to commit such atrocities. Outwardly, he puts on a whole act. It is a good thing he is dead, because if it were me, I would have killed him without hesitation. But deep down, he is gritting his teeth in sheer rage. Damn it, how did it actually fail? Zhu Minglang looks up to probe his reaction. The guy practically trashed the Nam residence, after all. Chow Hien forces a fake laugh while sweating absolute bullets, quickly nodding even though this mess has absolutely nothing to do with our Chow clan. It is still our fault for not keeping him on a tighter leash, so I will fully compensate the Nam family for their losses. Please do not doubt us. Zhu Minglang just chuckles calmly. How could I ever doubt you? I have absolute trust in the character of everyone from the great Chow clan, especially a man like you, Chow Hien. Even your name shows what a great person you are. But secretly, he is laughing inside after all. If it was not for you, I would have never scored that cultivation fruit. Chow Hien immediately orders his men to bring out a massive tray of gold quickly now. Where is everyone? Bring this gold right here so we can compensate Master Truk for the damage to the Nam estate. Zhu Minglang gasps, saying he will gladly accept the gold just to protect the young master's sterling reputation. Then he grabs the loot and runs off like the wind. I will take my leave now, so please feel free to carry on with your business, young Master Chow. Chow Hien is absolutely boiling inside. How did that filthy rich Zhu Minglang just extort me like this? Meanwhile, Min Kuai is getting his nasty wounds bandaged up. He frowns, demanding to know who that guy was, prompting Chow Hien to slowly reveal the truth. That is Zhu Minglang, the sole heir of the truck sect, making Min Kuai turn pale, as he murmurs that the kid's back looks identical to the flying sword thief. Chao Hian gets nervous and quickly tries to calm Lord Min Kuai down. Lately, you have been seeing that thief everywhere, and have already mistakenly killed 5 innocent people. Besides, Zhu Minglang is heavily backed by the truck sect and the Jiaoshan sword sect. He is not someone we can easily mess with. But Min Kuai snaps back. He is the absolute spitting image of him. Chao Hian quickly explains that the kid is actually the least likely suspect here, even though he used to be a swordmaster. He practiced a completely different style, and now he is just a useless weakling who hides behind his family name. There is no need to lose sleep over him, Lord Min Kuai, but this only makes the master's face grow even darker. He stubbornly barks out a harsh order. You useless pack of trash. Find that flying sword thief for me immediately. I will skin him alive, rip out his tendons, and crush his gouged out eyes while Chao Hian tries to keep negotiating. Tracking down the thief is definitely a priority, but we still have absolutely nothing to go on right now. Please give us a new lead, Lord Min Kuai, prompting the master to look at him with a dead serious expression. There is a frozen ancient city hidden deep within the Taoyuat mountains that is packed with legendary treasures, but a massive army heavily guards the path. The royal family has issued an order, calling all major powers to unite and completely wipe out the Juling city-state. Claiming our share of the spoils will not be easy. He scowls in deep anger. Juling city-state was founded by traitors who fled our Mingxin clan, and their ultimate strength lies in their ability to control giant stone constructs. His eyes suddenly light up with ambition, as long as you can secure a spot in this grand alliance. Just follow my orders, and you will achieve legendary glory with that. Min Kuai tears off his forehead bandage and storms right out of the room. Once the job is done, we will demand half of the legendary loot, leaving the rest for those mindless fools to fight over. Chao Hian bows with a smirk. Thank you for the brilliant guidance, Lord Min Kuai. You love to see it. Zhu Minglang slams the table in absolute delight over his massive jackpot, and now it is time to divide the spoils. He picks up the cultivation fruits, suggesting that they split them up evenly, one for her, and the other 2 for himself and Nan Lingsha, who happily holds up a mysterious vial. Mixing this first sacred dew with the cultivation fruit should give Thantrak a massive boost in raw power. Zhu Minglang inspects the dew closely, nodding. If only we could find a rare beast with the exact same attributes as the Kangluan green deity dragon. It would easily push Thantrak to the king class, Nan Lingsha explains. Under the heavy influence of the Dragon Gate, rare beasts will definitely appear. So we should go consult Tin Hoa. Suddenly, Niam Niam comes rushing into the room with urgent news. Zhu Minglang, there is something being sold that is very suitable for your Tiansha dragon. What is it? He asks in surprise, while she slowly reveals the name, a void crystal. Apparently, it was formed during the violent collision of massive continents, where intense heat vaporized mist particles into pristine, transparent crystals. Niam continues, explaining with a serious look. Isn't the heavenly fiend dragon born from dark energy? It seems dragons with this attribute are pretty common. The seller is in a massive rush, looking like they want to swap it for a king-tier dragon pearl. Zhu Minglang gently tells her to make contact with them and say they will trade anonymously, which leaves Fang Ninian totally stunned as she nervously asks him back. But in such a short amount of time, trying to get a king-tier dragon pearl for this trade is going to be incredibly difficult. Right then, Zhu Minglang pulls out a glowing gold gem from nowhere and reassures her, don't worry, I have 2 Dragon King soul pearls right here. Hearing this, Fang Nianian immediately nods her head in agreement. All right, she says, I will go contact them right now. A moment later, at a busy street corner in the ancestral Dragon City state, crowds of people are bustling back and forth along the road. A low voice mutters to himself, a void crystal for 2 Dragon King soul pearls. The masked guy rubs his chin, completely lost in thought. These 2 pearls of yours are not high enough quality, so if you pay an extra 7 million gold, this void crystal is all yours. Zhu Minglang decisively slams the box in his hand shut and tensely counteroffers, let's make it 6 million instead. This crystal plus info on another one for 9 million, the man says. Zhu Minglang firmly fires back 6.5 million. Now watch this. This ridiculous bargain makes the masked guy fume. But right as he turns to leave, Zhu Minglang calmly steps in to drop a bomb. The Dragon Gate has appeared recently, meaning even rarer treasures will flood in soon, so sell it now or keep it. Up to you. The masked guy is totally startled by this, realizing Zhu Minglang actually isn't going to call him back. He quickly turns back and slams his hand on the wooden box. All right, I lose to you, he groans, as Zhu Minglang calmly looks up. I am pretty short-tempered, Zhu Minglang warns. So if this info is wrong, I will find you, but the masked guy just pats the box and promises to pay double if there are any mistakes. Meanwhile, back at the Lichuan State Mansion, Zhu Minglang cheerfully walks in and greets him, hey Tringdu, how have you been lately? Which makes Tringdu, who is busy wiping his face, quickly spin around to reply, Zhu Minglang, I actually made a trip to Nuanvu City. It is nestled inside a massive fortress, and if managed well, It will definitely grow into an incomparably powerful city. Zhu Minglang gives a satisfied nod. Then I will have to trouble you to go back a few more times, since everyone there is highly reliable. Tringdu suddenly asks out of curiosity, are you seriously planning to just sit around while the queen expands our borders like she is simply pruning a garden? If I do not check the map for 3 days, I literally lose track of where our borders even are anymore. Zhu Minglang walks over and drapes his arm around him. Great talent means hard work, and with your elite financial skills, not managing a massive star in the myriad realms would be an absolute waste of talent. Tringdu instantly sees right through him and smirks, stop using that trick on me. Just tell me what brought you here today. As Zhu Minglang pulls out a folded paper, Tringdu takes the sheet and begins reading it out loud, where the peak borders Lichuan, molten lava, and void fog cover the entire region. The continental collision causes northeast winds to slice through the fog, catalyzing the floating particles into raw crystal dust. Most of these high-quality void crystals are carefully collected and painstakingly refined one by one by the absolute best craftsmen. A small number are formed completely naturally, though they still contain some impurities swept in by the wind. The Lichuan mansion holds the exact location of these natural crystals. Reading this, Tringdu breaks into a cold sweat, muttering that they might actually have this very item. We even got attacked by leyline monsters there, so they were actually guarding this rare thing called a void crystal the entire time? Zhu Minglang rubs his chin in satisfaction, never expecting the item to actually be in his allies' hands. Paying 500,000 gold for this info feels like a total ripoff, but he quickly asks if Tringdu can take him to find it. Tringdu looks up and says it is likely in Vuto, so if Zhu Minglang is in a rush, they should leave immediately. Zhu Minglang nods and thanks him for the help, and shortly after, at the open pit Vuto Min, both of them find themselves staring down into a deep, dark abyss. Tringdu peers down and asks Zhu Minglang if this is the exact thing he was searching for, but just when they find it, boom! An aggressive voice shouts from the distance for them to freeze and step away from the pit. We paid a massive price to the mine owner for this, barks a guy named Vung Ba from the Namtang sect. Standing next to him is Thung Har from the same sect. But hearing this, Tringdu is completely baffled and asks what mine owner they are talking about. There is no mine owner around here, but Thung Hao suddenly steps forward and tells Vung Ba there is no need to be so incredibly harsh. Just throw them a bag of gold and tell them to beat it, he says, before tossing a heavy pouch right at their feet. Tringdu politely asks who they are, only for Vung Ba to spit back that they belong to the powerful Nam Tang sect. Suddenly, he spots Zhu Minglang calmly picking up stones nearby, prompting Vung Ba to immediately lash out with a dangerous threat. Hey kid, do not push your luck. We already told you this belongs to us unless you want us to chop off your hands and feet. Tringdu delivers a serious warning, declaring that this is the territory of the Lady Ruler, and if they dare make a move, things will get ugly. His warning immediately makes Thung Har burst out laughing. He sneers arrogantly, mocking her as just some petty local ruler, before demanding they hand over the crystal immediately, or else every single one of them dies. Zhu Minglang suddenly growls, asking who the hell he thinks he is, catching Thung Har completely off guard as he screams back in fury. Called a pretty boy, Zhu Minglang remains completely fearless, turning with eyes as sharp as daggers. Asking if he really thinks he can kill him, the giant Long Quan suddenly emerges right behind Zhu Minglang. The terrified Nam Tong Tong lackeys scream as Vung Ba frantically calls for backup. Telling them to get over here, they quickly form a line to activate their stone warrior stance. Not keeping them waiting, Long Quan lunges forward, delivering a devastating, merciless strike directly into their formation. Next, a torrent of scorching fire bursts from its mouth, instantly surrounding them. Screaming for help in absolute terror, Vung Ba grits his teeth and curses them, finally dropping to his knees while still desperately trying to throw out empty threats, warning him that opposing the Nyam Tong Tong today will guarantee he meets a very painful end. But Long Quan does not let him finish, ruthlessly slicing his legs apart as bright red blood splatters everywhere, leaving him screaming in absolute agony. Zhu Minglang walks over to assess the damage, arrogantly mocking them by asking who they think they are calling out for help. If you think you can just order the Nam Tong Tong around like servants, go ahead, because I, Zhu Minglang, am waiting right here. Suddenly, a booming threat echoes from the distance, telling them to scram. Oh man, you are not going to want to watch this next part. The massive Long Quan grabs Thung Har, lifts him high, and delivers a brutal kick straight to his groin, leaving him in absolute agony. Vung Ba watches in horror as his young master gets launched into the sky, screaming out for him. Telling him to wait, Vung Ba flees. A moment later, Tringdu points a finger and warns that Nam Tong Tong better give them an explanation, or he will march his army to their door. He frowns and mutters quietly. Li Zuyen is still too weak, leaving them open to being stepped on by anyone, since showing weakness only invites more oppression. Zhu Minglang walks over to comfort him, suggesting they take things slow since rushing won't help. With a smirk, he suggests they brew some wine right here and relax while waiting for the Nam Tang Tong big shots to show up. eventually setting up tables and drinking to their heart's content. Slightly drunk, Tringdu mentions that the upcoming battle of Tuertlin Tanbong was ordered by the imperial court. With various factions and rulers forming an alliance, Zhu Minglang slams his cup onto the table with a frown, making his own declaration. They must unleash the true strength of Li Xuan's people to warn any outside forces who dare set their sights on their land. Tringdu nods in agreement, promising to give it his absolute all when the time comes. Suddenly, Zhu Minglang's eyes grow incredibly sharp as he looks up toward the sky, warning that more guests have arrived. Shouting in anger about who dared to hurt his son, Vungba looks up to the sky where the second sect master of Nam Tong Tong, Thung Huan, and his wife stand atop a massive Sun Vung Long. Squeezing his eyes shut, Thung Hair screams that he is the culprit. Complaining that he can no longer carry on the family line, Thung Huan's wife scowls down, shouting that she will make all of Li Xian pay 100-fold for her son's pain. Hearing this, Zhu Minglang mutters that they clearly have no intention of apologizing for their actions. His calm response only makes the woman roar back in pure fury. Losing her temper completely, she immediately leaps down from the back of the massive Sun Vung Long. Get ready, because things are about to get explosive. Raging that he ruined her son's lower half, her landing causes a massive wave of sharp, jagged rocks to violently burst from the earth. The stones quickly fuse together, forming a giant dragon made of solid rock. Zhu Minglang simply smirks at the sight, telling his beast to go enjoy some fun hunting. Calling out to Tiansha Long, he crosses his arms arrogantly, eager to see how much more terrifying its void power has become after absorbing the power of the void crystal. Snorting in annoyance, Tiansha Long complains about being bothered with such trash, but agrees to help for the sake of the void crystal. Declaring that he will assist him, the tension in the air rises to a boiling point. Activating its signature technique, its eyes glow brightly as it lets out an ear-piercing growl that echoes across the battlefield. High up in the sky, Sun Vung Long suddenly flinches in fear, causing Thung Huan to lose his balance and plummet straight down. Landing hard, he grits his teeth and dismisses it as a cheap trick, trembling as he stands up and mutters the activation for his dragonhorn bell. The moment the words leave his mouth, the bell on its head rings violently, sending powerful sound waves rippling through the air. Covered in sweat and visibly exhausted, Thung Huan grumbles that at his young age, the boy has at most reached peak commander rank. Right next to them, Zhu Minglang stands inside the pale whirlwind and calmly opens his mouth. Do you really think you can cross this dark abyss? He asks Tiansha. Go play with him. Tiansha Long roars instantly. Game on. Before Thuong Hoan can even process what is happening, Zhu Minglang calls out his dark technique. Hearing this, the old man's gaze grows sharp. But before he can act, look at this. A slimy, horrifying creature suddenly drops straight down. Thuong Hoan freezes in pure terror. Oh my god. Tiansha Long in its snake form swiftly slithers and coils tightly around the target. Meanwhile, Sun Vuong Long has turned into a wild, raging bull. From a distance, the woman screams in confusion. Thuong Hoan, what are you and your dragon doing? She glares at the helpless citizens and raises her hands, gathering massive internal energy. Let me destroy this annoying trash first, she sneers. Instantly, a massive explosion erupts, making the entire ground tremble as sharp rocks fly everywhere and raging fire shoots out from the earth. Oh no, this is absolutely terrible. Run fast and protect the ore vein, they cry out. Sharp stone shards rain down violently from the sky. Watching this, Trindu feels a stab of pain so cruel. Suddenly, his eyes flash with brilliant light as he activates a mysterious shield technique. In an instant, a massive protective barrier appears and successfully shields every single one of them. Zhu Minglang turns around with a proud smile. Trindu, my brother, that was an incredible move. His companion calmly replies, this is just a defensive chess formation I learned from a master, just the basics. Such extreme modesty leaves the young man totally speechless. Just the basics, Zhu Minglang laughs. You focus on killing the enemy, and I will keep the miners safe. Meanwhile, that wicked woman refuses to back down. She waves her hands, unleashing a raging fiery tornado while screaming out with pure hatred, die, all of you, die for me. But suddenly, a glowing red thread wraps tightly around her neck, and right then, her giant stone golem starts shattering into a million pieces of dust. And then, a clean snapping sound rings out. The woman's massive upper body instantly sprays a fountain of bright red blood. The heavy thud of her corpse hitting the ground sends a wave of absolute dread through the air. Witnessing this terrifying scene, Thuong Hao turns pale and screams, Father, Mother is dead. Standing tall, Thuong Hoan points a trembling finger forward. You dared to murder my wife, so I will make your entire Lai Suyen pay with their lives. Summoning Sun Vuong Long, he roars. The massive beast instantly tenses up and unleashes a deafening howl. Nearby, cliffs instantly shatter into pieces under the explosive smoke. Zhu Minglang folds his arms with a mocking laugh. Sun Vuong Long? More like a worthless turtle. Tiansha Dragon, show him what you've got. The dark dragon behind him is definitely not backing down either. Behind the thick mist, its eyes burn like two wild flames as a deep roar echoes across the sky. Its massive body glides and coils upward gracefully, its purple scales shining with a cold, metallic light in the gray haze. Tiansha opens its giant jaws, exposing rows of sharp teeth aimed directly at the enemy, and bites down brutally on Sun Vuonglong's neck before it can even react. Seeing this, Thuong Hon screams out in desperation, "Fight back with everything you have. Sun Vuonglong, do not give up now." Both dragons clash in a brutal struggle. Suddenly, Tiansha opens its jaws wide, catching Sun Vuonglong completely off guard. Now check this out, he just laughs at his desperate struggle and shows him what a real dragon actually looks like. With a loud crash, Sun Vuonglong slams violently against the jagged rocks, making a terrible, ear-splitting sound. Thuong Hoan panics and screams out Sun Vuonglong. But in a flash, our main character is already standing right behind him, asking coldly, "You are the second sect master, right? I crushed the lower half of your son's body. Got a problem with that?" Thuong Hoan trembles in fear, thinking to himself, this guy is a total demon. Growing impatient, Zhu Minglang leans down and coldly repeats his question. "Second sect master, I just killed your wife. Do you have a problem with that?" he asks. They brought this upon themselves, the man stammers, managing to keep a tiny shred of sanity in his final moments. He drops to his knees, begging, "Please, spare me and my son. I will do absolutely anything you ask of me." Thuong Hao can only watch in complete shock. "Father, are we not going to take revenge?" The old man quickly turns and snaps, "Shut up." In the end, Zhu Minglang decides to spare their lives. He turns and instructs Brother Trin, get a doctor to treat them, then make them do hard labor in the mines to pay for their crimes. Zhu Minglang gives a serious command to his soldiers. Make sure they pay for their sins properly, and bring some peace back to the people of Vu Thursday. The scene shifts to a bright morning under a clear blue sky. At the residence of Li Yunzi, the slow and steady footsteps of Zhu Minglang begin to echo. He catches sight of a girl's back and smiles, thinking it must be his lovely wife. However, as he steps closer, he is completely thrown off. Wait, this sad and gloomy figure actually belongs to Lady Tin Hoa. Realizing this, Zhu Minglang quickly speaks up, "Hello, Lady Tin Hoa." When she does not reply, he asks her with concern, "Is something wrong?" Her expression is totally grim. Tin Hoa sighs in deep despair, telling him that she planned to strike the Tuyat Lin city-state, but every single attempt ends in a dead end. Her words make his mouth twitch. How could it possibly be a completely dead end?